So basically, we live, we live, we live. You know, finna actually talk about a little stuff on the way to the crib. Money, power, and respect. And it's crazy that you know a lot of times we don't have this talk about the money. You know, investing, worrying about your future. You know that Nolo, it was famous um during the early 2000s, like just living life until you get older and you realize, man, I got responsibilities. If you don't even have a kid, you got to take care of yourself. And planning for your future, man, is key. So, you know, get the money, get the power, get the respect. Sometimes you'll have all three, sometimes you'll have one, maybe two. It all depends, you know. And a lot of people confuse this. So let me make this clear. It's not about being high value because you're trying to get money. You're trying to put yourself in a better position and a better place in life. You're going to need money to make that happen. So basically, that's where it's actually coming from. But inspired by Dr. Dunbar and his guest this morning, you know, and the notion of people not realizing that kids do cost, more or less that you for yourself. Like, what are you offering for yourself to, go into your older years, I should say, and savings, life insurance, investments, stock, crypto. That's big right now. You got properties, rentals, flipping, wholesaling, all these things, you know, and the lack of information that we know, we already know. I mean, the millennials, in my opinion, they wasn't taught a lot. But the point of it is, it's funny because we have no excuse right now. Like literally, there's no excuse to say that, man, I was never taught how to invest in stocks. We got tons of videos on YouTube. That's majority we at, Instagram. You got Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, all these social media platforms. They all talk about this investment. They always talking about crypto is big. You can't go nowhere without hearing about crypto. You got older people talking about crypto. They don't know nothing about a Bitcoin, you know, but they think it's the new trend. I mean, it's funny. I gave my wife $25 of Bitcoin. Well, $25 worth of Bitcoin. Um, and I think she's at 416 now. It's funny. Like she wanted it because it was trending. Like everybody talking about Bitcoin. You got Bitcoin? I was like, yeah, I got Bitcoin. I said, I don't have a whole one. I got fractions of it. Oh, okay. Well, give me some. I was like, for what? You don't even know what it is. Well, everybody else got it. I just want some. Gave her the $25. Put it in the wallet for her. She never touched it. Like she didn't even finish setting up her wallet. Like right now, she won't even be able to get the 416 she got in there now without properly setting up her wallet and taking the money out. She can't even transfer the money. It's just sitting in there. And it probably sitting there another couple of years if I don't transfer or do anything with it, you know. And of course, with me getting out of it, I invested in some stuff, but mainly walked away from it for the most part. Because I mean, when it was just coming out, it was pretty good. But the inflation and the way it, so volatile, going up and down. I mean, it's a crazy thing. But for the most part, though, there's no excuse. I mean, I'm gonna just keep saying it. There's no excuse why we can't invest or we can't make our lives better. I mean, even the job market right now. A lot of people got those checks. They've been sitting at home. The market is open. McDonald's getting up to $15 damn near. They say that, but certain places they're still paying like $9 to $10. But I think they're getting up closer to 12 now because they're losing employees. Even the young kids don't want to go in there. Young kids are making money off of crypto and just reselling stuff. There's a young kid I seen. His mom got him into stock, and this guy's balling right now, man. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna have to go down now. Yeah, like he buys pairs of Jordans and buys stock in Nike. So I just seen a story on TikTok of this 11-year-old kid in trouble. Like his mom, she's like, my son's a genius, but I'm embarrassed about it. 11-year-old kid, I should put the link in the description too. 11-year-old kid sits there and shut off the internet for the whole county doing the school, the online school. Most likely, he knew a little bit about, going into the system. He had a VPN to where they couldn't trace it back or something to a degree. And like, dude got in trouble, but the thing is, like, that's smart. Like, when it comes down to it, you're gonna have a lot of people looking at this guy because his future is gonna be bright at 11 years old doing something like this. I mean, that's entry level for most hackers. They can do stuff like that, you know. Because I mean that's funny. A lot of kids that play video games do that. They trace your IP, figure out what city and state you're in. So all these guys that play crazy, they really get at you. That's like I was watching a video. It was funny, and the guy was like, "Well, the mom comes in. She was like, 'Honey, I want you to meet my new boyfriend.'" And so he's like, "All right." Dude walks in and looks at him and say, "What's up?" Like, "What's up?" He said, "What's going on? Game 23." And the kid looks at him. He said, "Man, I haven't used that in years since World of Warcraft or Gear Solid, whatever game they were playing." And he's like, "Yeah, I remember. You told me something about go fuck your mom or something like that." So the guy said, "That's what I did. Came to come have sex with your mom." I mean, it was funny, but I mean, the whole thing is like tracing people. Like it gets technical side about it, depending on how you look at it. But I mean, it's just funny how these kids are getting into this stuff, man, and actually doing pretty good with it. Some kids get into real big and start building computers from scratch, man. Those raspberries, they just pretty much got the game crazy right now. To where kids, I mean, I was actually thinking about building a rig and mine coins with a raspberry. I seen a guy do it on a video with some solar panels. I mean, of course, the solar panels wasn't getting a lot of energy out, but I mean, that was the thing. I was thinking about, because my friend had a shed. It's always cold in the back in the woods. Use that shed and mine. It has to be cold because those rigs get pretty hot. But you need to look down in the chat and shout people out. I'm actually driving, but yeah. So when it come down to it, man, I mean, it just the crazy aspect of these kids nowadays. Mostly it's starting to outshine the parents, in which it should be like that. You know, your child should supersede you to where if you're a millionaire, your son should become a billionaire, or at least 50 million or 10 million. They're supposed to do more better, more good or more better. Funny I say that, but then you teaching. And the guy, I was listening to him earlier on Dr. Dunbar. I'm real bad with names. I know Dr. Dunbar called him the Sosa of something, because the guy's in finance. But it was crazy. He was just mentioning a lot of stuff, and like generational wealth not being money, is being knowledge. And I put in the chat and I thought about the parable of, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And I was talking to my wife about that, saying that the biggest aspect of teaching your kids how to use money versus giving your kids money will give them longevity. You can give them a little money here, but teaching them how to work that money into more money and build. I have these conversations with my son, my oldest son, and I tell him, I'm like, well, if things were, unfortunate, because, I speak about death. My parents died at a young age. So, more or less, I like to prepare my kids, you know, if things do happen. And I told him, I said, well, I'm going to leave you a certain amount of money, and it's going to be a percentage because the way my life insurance is structured, like in a couple of years, I might have $1 million in there, even more, you know. But just having $1 million on paper right now will be more satisfying towards, my future goals that I want to do, or possibly even get more than that over time if I let it sit. But I asked him what he was gonna do with the money if I, gave him money. He was like, well, I'm gonna retire, and I'm like, like boy, then I tell you, like the biggest thing for you to do is generate some income. You generate income to make you money to retire. And I explained to him about that actually what I talked about on Dr. Dunbar's channel. I mean, a lot of guys, you got to go over there and check that out, man. That interview was priceless, man. But I talked to him the same thing about Grant Cardone, saying that people living off of $10 million, and guys like, yeah, man, if I had $10 million or if I had $50 million, man, I could live off that for the rest of my life. And once you start factoring certain things, you know, because the average person, man, they get large lump sums of money. They don't do the right thing. I know somebody that got over 100 some thousand dollars and didn't pay their house off. I mean, so I know somebody that got, you know, like 15 some $1,000, and they went and bought a car. I mean, just crazy with money, man. Like I would have car buying a car is a bad investment. I mean, you need it to get around, and I explained that to him. All my cars, I buy cash. I mean, I bought one of my newer trucks. Um, Actually, I did buy cash. Pump faking, but yeah, I bought a cash. It was about um 2010 Dodge. I didn't want to pay the note. No, I told my wife I was paying the note because I didn't want her to know how much money I had all saving in my, left hand know what your right hand doing. But for the most part, it's crazy. Like but I was get back to the story. Like my son, I explained to him about Grant Cardone, how he was having these guys talking with them about living off of 10 million and 50 million. But then when he expressed that the guy stays in Cali, the guy he was saying that, yeah, I got $3 million mortgage every month. I got I'm sorry, three three thousand $3,000 a month in mortgage. I got I got millions on the brain. Hopefully I win the lottery or something. 'Cause it's got millions on the brain. But yeah. And so crazy part, like 3,000 a month plus you got a car. Of course you're gonna get like a real nice car. You retired. Everybody get their retirement car. I know an older couple now. Lady, she got her nice Mercedes, man. That's her retirement car. The guy, he got a Cadillac Escalade, the one with the back cut off like a Avalanche, because he needed a pickup truck. So that's his pickup truck right there. And older guys, you know about that. When the older guys retire, they get the real nice pickup truck, or they get the nice Cadillac, the Villas or something like that. But yeah, when it come down to it, the guy started adding it up and monthly, then started transferring over to yearly, and then not to mention adding habits and taking trips. Like, yeah, man, yeah, I can't retire off of this. Yeah, not 10 million, not 50 million. Yeah, I mean over the course, I would like literally go broke within this time frame. You know, because when you start adding expenses, I mean, most people drinking, smoking, the extra habits that you have, like that stuff goes uncounted for. Then you start neglecting the whole thing if you have kids, because hey, if you retired and you don't have kids, you might can do some real big surviving. But having kids, that cuts a big chunk out of the pie. And so the crazy part is if you're not planning for that, I mean, especially a budgeting for the kids, crazy. Like I said, I mean, about to start putting my kids back into tutoring, and I'm about to put them in sports, like karate, and they wanting to do soccer. And I'm like, well, they might don't be able to do soccer because they can't do karate and do the tutoring and stuff like that. Like tutoring, I mean, they was doing that twice a week. I had them doing it twice a week before last year, and get them back in there so they can sharpen up their skills. Because I mean, it kills me, man. One's good at math, one good in reading, and they just act like they have to be in opposite. They can't both be good, so it is what it is. And the crazy part is, good kids. I spoil them to a certain degree, but real good kids. But I budget for that. Budget for like Christmas. I buy them so much stuff every year. Like this year, I'm probably not even gonna do a Christmas. And normally, my wife she tries to make me be Grinch because I spend a lot of money. Yeah, but this year I think I am gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah. So when it come down to it, man, I mean, it's just let me go ahead and start highlighting people. But when it comes down to it, I mean, crazy like spending money and people not accounting for that stuff right now. They they're just like I said, that whole NOLO, that living life, man, not worrying about the future. You know, one of my friends even told me that to an extent. He was like, man, the amount of money you pay in life insurance, you could probably get you a nice Lexus or BMW or something like that to that degree. And I'm like, yeah. I said, but my whole focus is providing for the future, you know, and that's the biggest thing. A lot of times, even getting the nice cars and looking flashy. I mean, that's cool, and it's always a big thing. But like, what's gonna be held for the future? I can easily go get like a 2010. I mean, not 2010, like a 2021 pickup truck right now. Man, that thing will be nice. Put the rims on it, all that stuff, man. You know, just everything fully loaded. Um, but the thing is, I gotta pay that car note, and thinking these newer trucks, man, going like 900. I mean, depending. One of my friends, he was saying that when it come down to it, he has a guy that has his towing company where they do the dually trucks, and the guy doesn't even he every 3 years he always upgrade his trucks, and now he's up to 100 and I think I think it was like 120,000. He always get three trucks, and he's up to 120,000 per truck every for that next 3 years. So it's just crazy, like spending that much money on a vehicle. That's not even including the insurance, you know. So let's say the dude's spending, because car like that monthly, he going in the pocket. I mean, because he got it fully loaded. I'm talking about all the bells and whistles, and then he doesn't have the bed in the back because he's doing the dually and the Harley. So he has to have one of those custom made beds back there for the gooseneck trailer to go on back there, plus the toolbox built into the frame of that. Just alone, those type of special made beds that go on the back of those trucks easily started $3,000 just for a basic flat metal cover for the gooseneck, then a shield for your back windshield, easily at that. Then you might run into, customizing, putting belly boxes, which they call on the little compartments on the side, belly boxes, or, toolboxes, people, but normally truckers would know them as belly boxes and, side doors. But yeah, I mean, crazy. Like doing those numbers, like you talking about a lot of money. I mean, customize one of those just on the back of that truck alone will run you about 8,000 to $10,000. You know, and like I said, he gets those, so that's why it easily hits 100 and something, 120,000. So I mean, that's the crazy part about all that. And but you to pay that monthly, then turn around commercial insurance, you're looking at on three vehicles, break it down to one. Let's say about because you got to get your stuff insured. Most time, I did a when I used to do my non-emergency transportation. Our insurance was, I think it was, what was it? 18 to 2,000 a month. But we had like two vehicles. Things like almost, no, no, no. I think it was 18 per vehicle. Yeah, I think it was like 18 per vehicle. Yeah, it was 18 per vehicle per month. 18 per vehicle, man. And it was it was crazy. But we was doing numbers though, man. I had a business partner with that. We was doing numbers. And the crazy part was when it came down to it, like, man, like just imagine you're paying 20, let's say 2,500 a month for a truck. And I just because I mean truck, but yeah, 2,500 a month for 1,500 a month for a truck and 18, so let's say 2,000. So in all you're paying 3,500 a month for a truck. So 3,500 a month for that truck, it has to do money, like do numbers in money for you to actually, really do something. And like a lot of people not understanding that. Like that's like the biggest thing when it comes down to it. You know, money going in, money coming out. Saving for the future is key. Buying a house. The biggest thing that a lot of people need to get into now, that's why I'm trying to get my friend back on about buying a house and stuff. One thing I kind of take away from Jay Morrison that he talks is ain't nobody buying no more. Far as a vehicle, talking about well, that was the 1,800 a month. That was for insurance, and that was for one of the vehicles we had for non-emergency transportation that I used to do. And they needed $1 million pretty much to where if anything, because a lot of people was doing like fraudulent, accidents and trying to sue and all this stuff, and it used to come back on the companies like that we subcontract. We were the subcontractor, so they would try to sue the companies, and so that's what the $1 million policy was actually for. So to protect, them, which we had to get. But yeah. So but yeah, when it come down to it, I mean, yeah, man, I just lost. That's why I need to stay out of this chat, man, because I be losing my train of thought. But yeah. So dang, I just lost the train of thought that quick. But yeah, when it come down to it, man, it's just like preparing for your future and saving. Yeah, that's why I was going. Preparing for your future, man, and just saving money, like planning. A lot of people, they're not structuring anything, and I'm not that, keen on to where I'm like A1 and I have it all structured out. I have little stuff set aside. And oh, that's what I was going into, like with the buying the houses and stuff. But yeah, buying the house. Jay Morrison, he basically, one thing I take away from him, a lot of stuff he is iffy on the fence, but he said that an old guy once told him they ain't making no more land. We could say he was wrong because they doing that in Dubai right now. You can buy a country over there, but yeah, when it comes down to it, the craziness, man, like buying a house right now at this time, or just looking to get into the housing market, that's big, man. Even if you got to get a townhouse or fixer upper, something that you can own, because when the market goes up and down or whatever, like you need somewhere to stay. Even if you get your house, you actually can rent some rooms out. There goes your income. You know, if you move into another house, you can rent that house out, get that house paid off for people renting. So, I mean, that's key. Trying to own something, getting your credit together, learning the process, man. A lot of times, like I say, the FHA loan, a lot of banks are doing to right now where all you have to do is just have a decent credit score. They'll pay your down payment. You just pay the closing costs. See, and a lot of people just not privy to this because we don't talk about this. That's why I mean it's cool in this space that we can have our jokes and have our fun. But when it's time to talk about money, that's what we need to be on. I mean, even when people come back and listen to playbacks, I mean, some people act like they too cool to be in the front of the class learning. That's okay. But the point of it is hit the playback, man. Come learn like these processes on building. Honestly, if if we make it a goal to where we can even it out, if we do about two or three channels, or the wilding out, the joning, the B side, whatever they call that, and all that, but then go in and put in a nice little video tutorial on teaching you some, like far as finance, teaching you. I mean, not even just for finance. I mean, let's go into training. I mean, learning a skill or something. That's the thing. So that be the key when it comes to a lot of people. Coming in trying to learn something is big, man. You know, that's like the biggest thing when you're in the space and you're listening to the craziness. Cool. I like to laugh and listen to some of the weirdest stuff somebody say on these panels and question them. But I'm there for the money talk. You know, I'm there listening to the tech. I'm there listening. Even if I don't get into that, that's my thing is to be on top. And a lot of people, shout out to everybody in the panel, you know, because coming in, everybody in the panels, we all know each other from floating around. You know, I always see people when I see people in the chat, and depending on what they're talking about and how they're talking, I go look up their channel. I go sub. Some people don't even have content, and I just see that they have a channel, and I go ahead and just sub to it because over time people change. They want to start a channel. I'm already there. So when it comes down to it, that'd be the biggest thing. Getting in there, learning the money, trying to make it. They got Udemy. Take courses and classes on Udemy. I actually bought a course from Erica Williams. And the crazy part, still haven't even finished it. Man, I bought that course last year and I just been so busy and caught up on stuff. And every time I get in, it's crazy because I'll get into one thing, start doing something else, then start doing something else. And I just keep building and building. Like I'm just steady moving, man. Like just trying to make money, trying to do things efficient the right way, trying to push stuff and things in perspective to try to figure out what's going to be my next move. What is going to be my ultimate goal? Because catching up on trying to hit the lottery, that's not my goal to retire. You know, if I hit, great. I'm gonna play. But the point of it is, you know, putting things into play to where I can live off my, investments. That's the key for me. Having a point to where I can retire. That's what I'm looking at. What's the next step in my life? You know, and like real estate, that's one. Crypto, one I'm in. Dealing with my stock. Man, I should literally turn on my camera and show y'all my son's room. I bought him some dang lights, and this dude go to bed like I literally have to go in there and cut his lights off. I just pulled up. This guy be sleeping in his room with them LED lights on. Like I don't see, man. I can't do that. But yeah, man. Like these kids. But when it come down to it, hey, man, you got to get it together. Learn money as much as you can. Try to get in with the finance, man. Hey, get a mentor. I got one of my homeboys. He put me on to a lot of stuff. I try to get one of my other friends on. He don't know nothing about it. I say I don't either. Let's do it together. You know, let's go take some courses. If it's giving me information, I pay for a course. It's giving me good detailed stuff to where I can grow. I pay for a course. You know, most of the stuff you can find the stuff free online. Like it's crazy. Why? Why? I mean, we paying for it. Some of the stuff is free, but nobody wants to put in the work. That's why courses are so available for people that don't want to put in the work. Yeah, man. But it's like even with trades, I'm actually in the process of getting my CDLs, and it's funny. A lot of people think I be got my CDLs. Man, I just drive straight trucks, man. I make so much good money doing that, and I'm not even going out of town. Even when I get my CDLs, man, I'm not going out of town like that. Like I'm pretty much done over the road. I can literally go out and make more money. That's just like I said, that's gonna be one of my old man jobs. I always get on my wife and tell her, that's my old man job, to leave and go over the road and when she start getting on my nerves. I already got things set up, you know. Um, but the biggest thing is, man, I learning skills, man, learning how to do plumbing. Been doing like little handyman carpentry work. Not no certified big name, but even with plumbing, I know the basics, man. Know how to do certain things, run pipes, install, more like a handyman style. Electrical, just getting into that for the most part. Electricity scares me, man, but I'm learning that right now as well to do my thing, man, to set things up. I can be able to build a house. That's one of my things that I'm do when I get my land. When I get ready to move from this spot, I'm gonna go ahead and find me some land where I can, have a little small farm and build stuff. Going out towards like a country area with no zoning permits, where I gotta pay for and all that stuff. And people gotta realize, land is gonna be key, man. And if anything, I can try to find something about 40 acres, man, to a degree. And man, I put in some work, man. Put in some work. Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny. That's my thing, man. I don't want to touch it. You know, I'm scared of electric, man. Like I don't. That's my biggest thing is getting shocked. I can always swim out the water. I can always get to a certain degree to where wood, redo it or some fall on me. I can pick it up off me or whatever. But man, that is some work, man. You get shocked. I mean, that's life or death right there, man. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I'm getting into the trades, man. Trying to, perfect stuff, learn all I can learn about trades, plumbing. Um, he might even go ahead and take some course. Like I've been looking up the course to where I can do a plumbing course in about 2.5 months to get a certificate in plumbing. Same thing with electric. Going to the school down here in Atlanta. I think it's like IBW or something like that. It's a school teaching you the basics and send you in the market to get you a job. But my thing is getting the skills while I want something to where I can still be doing my regular job and go there and get my skills up. Because that's my thing. Like I mean, we can go back to the whole man thing, like back in the day, men work with their hands. I mean, that's my border, man. Grew up around a lot of older guys, so that's why I'm trying to hone in on my skills of, knowing how to build, you know, run my own water line. Hey, I'm with it. Hey, and ism, like I told you, man, I need to start this chat. I be forgetting stuff. But yeah, man, that's my biggest thing, man. I want my 40 acres and a mule. And I told my wife, I said the craziest part, if I hit the lottery or if I get to a status to where I do get 40 acres, I'm gonna put a bronze mule in on the street. Cause like my 40 acres is gonna be right on some old back dirt road or something like that. And I'm gonna drop a big old bronze mule right there, and I'm gonna have my 40 acres. It's gonna be everything on there, man. I'm gonna have, residential. It's gonna be a residential area on my property, man. We have it set up to where, family can come over there, get cheap housing, big community, all us be there together, friends and family, all in that same community, man. You know, go ahead and you gonna pay for a house anyway. You might as well just go ahead and give me that little, you know, just everybody pay $500. Get you a nice little setup over there. nice little setup. Then, had like a little compound over there, man. Small little city over there. Them 40 acres, be a little city over there, man. Be on the power grid. Have water supply over there, solar power. It's gonna be like a little off the grid thing. I mean, crazy part. Even if I had that type of land too, I always looked at getting the tiny homes and putting them out in the fields and get everybody at least about, want to say, a half an acre to an acre, spread it out like that, and then, oh man, that's crazy because I used to stay in New Mexico. That's where I was born at. I was born in Albuquerque. But yeah, do the tiny homes and rent them out as vacation spots because a lot of people just want to get away. I mean, that's it. I mean, I would even have a community in the city where the businesses are just tiny homes to where everything you see, you just walk in the door, look at the small, it's like a walk in and out. One side would be you walking in, the other side of coming out. Be a small little shack like, or actually just have one to where it's like a shed enough to where you could just stick your head in there, look and see what you got in there, and hey, get what you want. Or to a degree, like I said, have one door on one side, one door, you just like a walk through store where you walk in one side, oh, you look at everything, walk about three more steps, you already at the back door and you out of there. So, that goes for all the people that window shop. There you go. If you ain't window shopping and you end up, you ended to win it, you know? Yeah. I mean, to a degree, yeah, the mobile homes, they dirt cheap. I know a guy, one of the Mexican guys I used to work with, he bought some land at an auction. So he went and got the land at an auction. I think he had some land right off a lake for $8,000. So he had to go over there, clear the land off, and it was just like a little small shed somebody built. So he took the stuff, put it at the street, had the city come pick it up, and he was actually finna go run the wiring and stuff and the plumbing. And lo and behold, when he finished cleaning it off the land and debris, trees and stuff, come to find out all the sewer lines and power line, all that stuff was right there, was just in the ground. It's covered up by a lot of debris and stuff. So you pull that up, seen the lines and everything already there, and all he had to do was just connect them. So he ended up getting a mobile home. Got a mobile home for I think he got it off of Craigslist for $5,000, and he had a company drop it off for him, and he did all the stuff himself. Him and his friends. They did the plumbing for the mobile home because I mean everything is pretty much open. You go up under the bottom, run the pipes, go up top, snatch the walls out because most of them, they have panels or drywall, depending on how you buy them, and then you go from there. And so basically, man, he had to set up to where all that stuff he did it on his own. I mean, it was crazy. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing to me. Like I'm still interested on just buying land itself and sitting on it and going from there because that's like one of the things I've been looking at on LoopNet. For people who don't know, that's more or less like commercial real estate site, but they do have residential on there. And I was looking at getting just some land or getting a business real cheap in the business area to just do like being able to sell, I mean, being able to rent out space because I was talking to, I think it was Nino at one point, and we was talking about just space for people to actually come and do business, and I mean, this is a hack too. For people that get business license, you know, they have virtual office. I mean, not business license, but you conducting business, you start a business, getting a virtual office, and those virtual office actually, are real good for you to, set up your business. With that virtual office, it shows that you're spending money on an actual property versus doing it from home. Home business are, pretty decent too. But if you're trying to get loans and stuff like that, a virtual office will actually help you out. But yeah, but my thing is I would do a lot of that stuff. Yeah, cause with me, I'm good with tools and stuff. Cause like right now, I'm actually in the process of once I get through clearing out some stuff and I have some time towards the winter, I'm gonna end up go ahead and clear out my backyard. I got a little hill on the backside, so I'm gonna end up clearing that off and getting a backhoe and I think like an excavator and just clean all that stuff out back there. I only got like three trees and they pretty slim. I can actually cut those and scrap them to other trees to where they, I can control the way they fall. And my cousins, he pretty good with that, so I get him to help me do that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I just buy some land. I mean, that's the biggest thing, getting that land and sit on it. And if anything, I can build on it. I'm good. But like I say, with that office space, getting people, more into business, giving them somewhere to, create, and that virtual office to a point, look them up. There's a lot of places that do virtual offices, a lot of areas, man. You paying like sometimes less than $100 a month. And so when you get that business and you have that virtual office, make sure you have a phone number, professional phone number. Most of the time, man, a lot of this stuff is not even recommended. I mean, it's not even, you don't really have to do it, but by building business credit and trying to get loans, a lot of those, creditors or I mean just banks, they're looking into all that. So, like I said, I'm learning this stuff on the fly. Well, I've been learning it, but the thing is putting it to work. And a lot of people, if you don't know, you just don't know. So that's like one of the biggest things, trying to get everything set up to where, you know, you're able to do, get things accomplished. And like I said, with that business, if you're putting in that time and energy, setting up everything the right way, even if you're not even let's say you're not even using that business, to be honest, you can actually sell the business off. There's a lot of people just going out and just buying names like domain names of business, and that's a business within itself. Creating a whole bunch of domain names and then turning around and selling them to people. Tesla bought the name Tesla from somebody else, you know, and I mean it's a numbers game, you know. Setting up your business. I mean, me and a couple of people was talking about just just little business to start and to kind of just booming, you know, just off rip, just a lawn care business is one of the easiest business to start. Everybody needs their grass cut. So like if you don't want to do that, being handy, you know, uh, well, I say voiceover because a lot of people have microphones in this space doing voiceovers, you know, for books and stuff. You can Google search that. I mean, you can even look up a video on YouTube telling you how to do voiceovers like that. Get paid to do that. Affiliate programming. Get paid to do that. I mean, it's a lot of stuff you can do to where you ain't even really gotta leave your house if you don't want to. Or if you do want to work with your hands, I mean, there's small little companies you can set up for yourself and get big returns. So, like I said, it's all about the money game. Even with this crypto thing now, I'm learning more into the markets and researching through Binance to try to figure out what cryptocurrency is, good. I think Larry Jones I watched that does like stock, and it's this young guy. I just got into him that's doing the cryptocurrency and stuff. Larry Jones do a lot of that crypto and stock. I mean, I watch those different sites a lot. I mean, even though a lot of guys see me in these spaces on panels, man, I watch so many documentaries. Vice is one of my biggest documentary places I watch. There's this one black guy, I forgot the name. It's something about the diaspora. This sucker. I can't remember his channel because he has a good channel. He always it's almost like Sir Obadiah, how he does his channels and talks about, the history of civilizations and stuff. And this guy goes into deep context, has like the pictures, you know, different little scenes, map details and everything. I mean, just real good. I mean, even with Vice, I like Vice. Vice has a lot of good documentaries. They have documentaries on scammers and showing how these guys are actually on here showing how they scam. Like then you have people that, you know, just being taken advantage. I seen this guy, a family actually on Vice. Their whole family lost everything, like 4,400 acres got taken away from them due to some family member up in New York, in Mississippi. This guy, I'm just gonna say this guy, he went to a family member up in New York, told them that he'll give them about 5,000 or 10,000 for a stake in their property in the family business down in Mississippi or somewhere. Because back then we wasn't privy to wills and stuff like that. We just you know have it willed out to everybody in the family. So this guy knew of that, and all he did was just gave that family member like 5 or 10,000. Now he's bought into the family, land, and then he goes and tries to get ownership of it by going to the county and asking these little contracts, put it out in the newspaper, just like back in the day they say used to do with like the divorces, to where if you want a divorce you just put it in the paper and somebody will have to say, well, I know this person did and all that stuff like that. But yeah, took the land from this family, and he ended up only paying $400,000 for four thousand 400 acres. Four thousand 400 acres. He only paid 400,000. Complete steal, like complete steal. And in the end, all he wanted was just the trees off the land. He could have easily contract that family and said, "Let me get so many of these trees off your land. You're not using the trees anyway. They're just growing. Let me buy some of the trees." But it was better for him to just backdoor them, take the land, get all the trees off, and the guy probably had no intent on re-putting trees down so he can harvest them up. He just clearing the land, getting the trees and selling them off, and that's it. Crazy. But yeah, man. I mean, next move, like focusing on the money. Like I said, a lot of the documentaries I do watch be entertaining. Like I said, with that the scammers, and then looking into how people vacation. Even with the drug stuff, I look at that like I didn't even know people take horse tranquilizer as a drug. I mean, I heard people talking about taking horse tranquilizer and cutting it on drugs like I think cocaine or something like that into crack. Or I don't know, but I heard little rumors of stuff like that when I was younger. Using cut for to make I think coke to make crack. But yeah, just people taking horse tranquilizer and mixing it with other drugs to get a high. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like just just listening to the type of stuff that people do, man. I mean, just don't understand it. And then even with like just the basis of smoking weed now, it's like since this weed thing is starting to be legal, you have these shops, man. I look at I think this machine called a nutcracker. And what you do is you put your weed in there and it presses it out and gets like this glue like substance from the THC. I don't know what they call it, but they get that from the weed and they actually it's like a paste and they take it and roll it up, roll your weed up, put the paste on the blunt, and then you can smoke it like weed crystals and all that stuff. Like I just googled this stuff to be looking at. I don't even smoke weed. I think I probably smoked weed probably 3, 4 times in my life. It just wasn't my thing. I don't like smoking. So I was like, I might even like one day do the brownies or some crap, but I just don't like smoking. I don't like smoking. You know, I mean, drinking is something. It's like a high from that, from like that. Then yeah, it's about the same, but I don't like smoking. So yeah, so I might even do the edibles or something one day, just to have that little moment. But I mean, just looking at those documentaries talking about the way guys roll the weed, even like what's his name? Two Chains. I think it's called Most Expensive Shit. That's the name of his little thing that he has on YouTube to where he does like most expensive everything. Swords, liquor, the blunt. I think he said one company had a one blunt was like $10,000. $10,000 for a blunt. $10,000 for something you gonna smoke. I mean, these guys made a company out of selling so-called exotic weed type. Like crazy, man. Like even clothes. He did most expensive on clothes, suits, cars. You know, I watch for cars. I watch Supercar Blondie. She does a lot on the concept cars and stuff like that. Man, it's like crazy. So, I'm into a lot of that stuff, man. Look at my son, he's real big on cars. He like newer cars and old schools though. I like my old schools. But I'm into the newer cars too. Like that guy's big on cars, man. I had him ever since he was 3 years old. He was so hyped on cars. I take him to car dealerships. And that's one of the things he say he wants to own. He wants to own a car dealership. Yeah. So, getting my kids ready, trying to get them in society, getting their brain picked on what they want to do. I'm kind of leading them more or less instead of telling them what they're going to do because that was my biggest thing. I never liked my parents and, family members trying to tell me what I was going to be in life. I just wanted to pick my own lane because ultimately, that's your decision on what you're going to do, but kind of leading them and let them you know, pick their own lane. But yeah, man, I mean, like I say, when it come down to it, I mean, finance, all this stuff is gonna be the key for the future. We're not getting younger, we're getting older. So getting older, preparing for the future, you know, having some money there is the key. Like I said, that's why I always push. Yeah, I can drop the link. Just talking for a minute, but yeah, I could drop the link because I'm probably gonna get off in a little bit. But I'll go ahead and drop the link now. But yeah, when it come down to it, that's why I always be pushing Alonzo because that's my biggest thing. Aaron. Hmm. Oh, okay. That's what happened. That's not the YouTube link I was trying to get. Okay, copy. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, because like I said, we're not getting so much, to being younger. I mean, we're getting older. So that's why I always push Alonzo with the life insurance, you know, because that's like the biggest thing. Planning for your future is key. Like, how are we gonna work towards, you know, making sure we have enough money when we get older and we don't actually start putting things aside, you know, not even with money, we can just do assets, buying properties and, over time, the equity in the properties, going from there. Good night, afternoon,
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Hey, good
I just
morning.
woke up and I was like, who's live? Who's live? And I saw you were live. But I must admit, I came in a little late. I heard some of what, you were talking about. Um, what did I
Yeah.
miss? Set me. What
Um,
was the overall thing I want to chime in?
well, for the most part, just talking about money, but then we're just talking about little stuff about documentaries, buying land, investing, trying to learn trades. I mean, just all
Oh,
over the place.
my favorite topic is money. I've done quite a few shows about money, so that's an important one. That's
Yeah,
a very important one. I heard you talking about insurance and stuff. Things that
yeah,
people really need to take more seriously because they sure do come in handy when you need them. But I don't know if you know this. This is something I like to do with content creators. Like when it's just them, I like to catch them alone. Because sometimes when we're on panels, it's you really don't get the opportunity to really talk and get to know one another. So I finally caught you because I think you're a lot like me. You don't always come on at the same time.
yeah. I just do randoms and stuff because I try to put out a little information, but it's kind of random because I'm so busy when I be, in my real life and just be moving
Uh-huh.
around. So
Okay. What's your normal time? That way I'll try and I know usually when I do see you it's in the morning. Is that normal for you?
yeah, well, I pretty much I haven't even been live or went live a lot. I mean, I just do random videos, just sparring them up. Like now, I was late driving home, so I
Uh-huh.
just actually did a video.
That works
Yeah,
though. It sure do. Sometimes it works out that way. Some of my best videos were randoms. Um and some of the ones I put so much effort into thinking everybody's gonna come through. You never know with YouTube, because it depends on if other people are alive at the same time and this and that. And it's like, oh gosh, because a lot of us have the same subscribers. So,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah, that's crazy. Cause I mean, even with, I think I was on what's his name, Absalom Pianki channel,
uh-huh,
and he had like it was three of us in the chat. It was me, one G's, the number one grinder,
uh-huh.
underrated, and all three of us was on there, but it was only showing he had one view, and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
not right.
I've been
So
watching someone and it said they had no viewers, and then, like, in a split second, they had three. So I think maybe it takes them a time to catch up. I don't pay it any attention when I'm talking.
yeah, me too. I just go.
Hmm.
Like I said, I always say we here. So if it's one person in the chat or 20 or 50 or 100, you just get that comfort. Just you got one person in there or not. You still gotta do the message because the message that's what's important.
That's right. And then a lot of times, people come through. It takes time. Oh, look at Sir Ism. Yeah, it takes time.
This is Uncle Ism's uncle.
Good morning.
Going on, ism.
You fake. You don't work. You ain't got a wife. The gynocracy. Mahogany, you fake. You ain't got a man.
Oh,
You a
Jack.
lie. You a lie. I'm here for the fucker. It's the wrong channel.
Yeah.
Oh, Pookie
That's
must
what they
die.
do. That's what they do. Ciao.
Hey, she, man. Appreciate being on your channel, man. You always rock with me. I had to pull up on my little one, man, because you've been rocking with me since day one. So that's why I'm
No
here,
problem.
man. And quit looking at the chat sheet. You know I'm gonna make you laugh.
I know, man. Yeah.
Hey, Kosha. Hey, Ice.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Hey, how
Hey,
y'all doing?
Mahogany, long time no see.
I
You ain't
know,
did no
right?
live.
Hey,
And
no.
I have, let me tell you, and then I'll be quiet and let y'all take it. Sometimes I have my little, and Ism knows, I think, sometimes I have my little breakdown, like when things don't always go my way. But I'm learning not to take things so personal on here. You know, it's just, it can be emotional sometimes. But I am going to go live. I promise Benny Chain and Sir Ism, I'm going to do more workout and exercise stuff, just different topics, you know, away from.
Non-controversial stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, can't really get into the gender wars on the. Well, I guess you can on the exercising.
Right. It's hard to argue about exercise.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey,
I
no.
just wanted to know is my black people knowing about the fertilizer shortage and what they think about it, because from what I hear here and there, there's supposed to be a fertilizer shortage, and that is kind of like everything. That's your weed supply, that's your
Mhm.
food supply, that's your gas, because they put corn and stuff in gas. So is anybody really paying attention to that and how that's going to impact in food?
Tell us about it. I mean, I know gas is always. Tell us more about it. No, I honestly, I didn't hear too much. Did you guys hear anything?
No,
You
I
know,
actually didn't hear about it.
from my understanding, and I heard couple of places, and if you Google it, the farmers are talking about they cannot get hold of fertilizer, and they projecting in other countries too that it's going to be a major fertilizer shortage. And I think it has energy production or something. It's a lot of connected pieces, because back when the old ages, when they actually had books in school, they taught us basically two things in like fourth or fifth grade. The more hands that touch something, the more expensive it gets. You know, if you have to go process. But most businesses now, we get everything from other places to make your product or whatever. And with farming, farmers just really want to farm. They don't go into making the fertilizer and this and that. And our land has been overworked so much to it's basically you have to put everything into the soil in order to get food out of it. So if there's a fertilizer shortage, it's going to be less food production. And with the thing of the additives, I think they use some type of corn, something as an additive in certain gasolines. But even the drying of, like one place was saying, the drying of grains or your wheats or whatever, and one country is going to be a potential shortage because it takes so much energy. It just sounds like a lot of connected pieces, and I was just wondering if
Oh, wow.
anybody thought about it. But I don't know if people seeing the prices reflected in the grocery store. You know, when you go and you just put stuff in your mental Rolodex, like, oh, this high, but you don't
Food,
really
yes.
connect it. You don't really connect it with other things. But that might make the weed prices go up if that's the case. And I know people be trying to do holistically, but if you can't get fertilizer, I mean, that really impact food production.
Food is already high. I've been noticed that, especially my son, and I'm not going to derail the conversation too much, but I know I shop a lot, but I eat a lot of, I try because of my health. I try to eat a lot of fresh foods and vegetables. And then my son just recently decided he wanted to become a vegetarian. So instead of, yeah, you know, he's young. I did the same thing when I was young. I was a vegetarian, I was a vegan, I was a Episcopal parent. I did everything I could do to just try and figure out how to be healthier because I have, I've always had ulcers and all kinds of issues with my digestive system. But basically, I do my shopping weekly because you know produce goes bad so fast. But
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, they used to have a lot of organic fruit stands and stuff like that. Vegetable. There was a place called the Vegetable Bin, and we would go. We would drive half an hour just to get there, just to get our fruits and vegetables, and to close that down. And they don't have a lot of them down here anymore.
They even say that is some of that's not organic. A lot of them say the people are actually buying it and selling it. They're actually getting it from companies and then just selling it on the side of the road and stuff. I'm not
Well, this down here, I'm gonna be honest. Down here, I think it's pretty organic because a lot of the people that sell them are actual farmers. Like you can go in their land and get the. That's the
Okay.
cool thing about it. But they're shutting them down so fast. But basically, what I was telling you, I noticed that everything is going up, especially when you're trying to eat healthy. That's why a lot of people don't because it's so high. Everything on the pound. Cherries, good God, are like $8 a pound. So it's hard to eat healthy. So I definitely noticed it on the grocery store side. I'll let somebody else chime in.
Yeah, I just wanted the men input. Y'all, men, do you all go grocery shopping?
Yeah, I buy groceries all the time. Like between me and my wife, we just go grocery shopping. I've been seeing a big difference in the grocery prices, and like people scattered. Like the first time when the COVID was announced and everybody was going crazy, like everybody went after the bottled water. I bought filters, for the sink, bought the
Yeah.
jug,
Hmm.
and I mean, unless the water's gonna run out in your from the state, with the sewage or something, and all that messes up. I mean, bottled water. You just spent so much on bottled water, and they had cases of water. Half of these people didn't probably go through that water yet. And then, I mean, like what the food, everybody trying to
Technically,
buy canned, and they wasn't buying no fresh food. I mean, even with the food, I bought mostly frozen than canned food. I mean, I kind of stay away from that can a lot, but I bought mostly frozen.
well, technically, or some,
What about the other man?
I just be thinking about, if something were to happen, like what happened in Texas, because, when the pipes and stuff, when they had that little freeze down there,
Yeah.
and one town had just capped off their wells and stuff and went to city water, and that people wasn't able to actually get their water and stuff because all of this stuff was. And I don't try to take too much from the news because I know they exaggerate. Because I know when they be telling us that they had a hurricane down here, them people be talking like we in a third world country. We like, well, damn, we ain't know it was that bad. We just ain't got no air conditioning and everything, but we okay down here. We got plenty. But the
The
news make it
news.
a 10, but you don't really know if it's a 10 or if it's a 3
Well,
on.
yeah, they report like the worst of and I get that they have to focus on, the worst areas that are hit, but like everybody might not be affected the same way. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna pass it again, and I want to hear the men's input too. Um, so I remember hearing this all the time. My grandparents, the older people, they would always have canned goods around and bottled water. And my grandmother used to keep like gallons of water just stacked around and under the kitchen table and all kinds of stuff. And I remember thinking, this is so crazy. Like, why are we saving everything? Them old people save everything. They save aluminum foil, honey. And I just never got it. But now, as I get older and have lived through a few hurricanes and a few things, I understand why. And it seems like just a few months ago, we had a storm and the lights went out for a little while and the water went out. And don't you know, I didn't have any water in this house. So that same time I said no more, never again. So this is just a reminder to us that anything can happen at any time. We live in crazy times, and to keep your family, just try to keep those things around for an emergency, because we don't know what can happen at any time, including finances. I try to keep it to where I have something in my son's account. Well, my son stays okay. I might not be okay, but he stays okay. And then a little something in case things go crazy. And that's something that I think Black people need to work on, because I myself had to work on it. Just getting in a car accident, needing your tire changed. Just anything can happen at any time, and it can affect you in a really bad way if you're not prepared. So we just need to keep that in mind. That's all I got.
Yeah, I was wondering about the men. How do they see it? Do they paying attention to the market, the food? Are y'all preparing anything for it, or is it? I know as a woman, I always want to have plan A, B, C, and D, and E, and F.
Mm-hmm.
But as men, I think that y'all a little stronger. Do you all plan for A, B, C, D, E, and F, or y'all just figure when it happens, I'll make it do what it do?
Man, we waiting on y'all.
Indeed.
They quiet.
Nah, I mean, I'm just waiting for, you know what I'm saying, one of the gentlemen, if they want to go first.
Go
however.
ahead. Is that Ice?
Oh, yeah.
Hello? Can
Go
you hear
ahead,
me?
Joe. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just say stock up. You
Mhm.
know, this is not gonna be a one-time event. This is gonna be at least a year or two round event, maybe 3 years.
What does stocking up look like to you?
Anything that's non-perishable.
What about
Lots of water.
financially? Oh, go ahead.
Financially,
Mhm.
I put my money in oil, natural gas, stocks. I'll put money in crypto.
Okay.
Because as we have inflation, to protect your purchasing power, um, everybody's gonna funnel their money into equities or in cryptocurrencies. So you're gonna see an all-time high come next year
Mm.
into those markets.
What do you think?
So, hmm?
I be going in all kind of YouTube spaces, and one of the
Hmm.
things I haven't done any research on it. I just want to pick y'all brain. They were
Hmm.
saying something about something supposed to go into effect where, and I don't know about this. I don't know if this is conspiracy theory. I haven't delved into it about they're going to be able to legally sell, I guess, one of GMO meats, basically lab created meat, etc.
Oh, they're
And
already doing that.
trying.
They
But
already
something,
doing it.
some law or something supposed to hit or something that they were saying were going to impact it. I haven't done any research to it, so I don't know if it's something coming down the pipeline that isn't into effect. Like I know years before, a couple of years ago, I think during one of the last elections, they had the thing where they was able to remove where your food was processed at, because before it was a legal requirement that it had to be labeled where, I guess if it was meat or whatever, wherever it was processed at. And then they were talking about being able to ship chicken and stuff to China and other countries to have them process it and then send it back here. And I guess because it get around a lot of the restrictions as well as
The,
pricing that we have
mhm.
in the United States. But I know if I went to a country where they be eating everything under the sea, and y'all shipped me 1,000 pounds of chicken to sell, and I was supposed to ship y'all 1,000 pounds. Y'all gonna be a few hundred pounds light because I'm gonna have to fill that with some other stuff because well, I'm take a little bit off the top to take home and from the processing plant for my family.
Absolutely. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, millions of people that are actually in the United States. So you got to sit and think about it. It's not enough chickens to actually feed them, or cows or whatever like that. Like anybody that grew up in a neighborhood, if you go to the Poppy store and you get, where I'm from, is like you get cheesesteaks, whatever like that. Especially from like the Chinese spots. 9 times out of 10, you're not eating like a chicken cheesesteak or or a cheesesteak. You're basically eating a cat cheesesteak.
Well, I guess if you put peppers and enough fat in it, it'll taste good.
Yeah,
I ain't healthy.
they hook it up. You get it for the 5. You know what I'm saying? For the 5E, you put some salt, pepper, ketchup. They toast a roll. A lot of people don't really even know the difference. You know what I'm saying? But I was gonna say, as far as like with, I think the young man was talking about the investing. Investing is cool in a way, but the market is getting nutty, and you could tell just by how everything is basically happening just with it's really set for a crash. Your best bet is to learn how to trade.
Yeah,
Trading.
the volatility. I didn't say just put anything in there.
Mm,
The oil and commodities is a safe bet
mm,
just because everything is going up. I have two penny stocks of commodity related, one oil, and then I have a steel company as infrastructure,
Okay.
U.S. infrastructure play.
Okay.
So, and it does pay a dividend. It's one of the few penny stocks that I hold that pays a dividend.
Okay. It's understandable. I mean, for me, as I said, like
Mhm.
it just, I trade like the Bitcoins and also the
Mhm.
US 30.
Mhm.
Now, whereas though it is a risk. I mean, you can make it fast, you can lose it fast.
Mhm.
But it's just a matter of really, once you learn the skill sets,
Mhm.
of that, it takes time. But once you get the skill sets of that, you'll eat for
Mhm.
life, and you don't necessarily have to rely on an employer. I'm saying you pretty much can
Mhm.
become your own boss if you
Mhm.
can. I'm saying, if you can basically read, if you have, I would say, enough, I would say, patience to read
Oh yeah, no, no, no. I've
algorithms.
taken college courses on economics, and I'm pretty well studied on the on macroeconomic fundamentals.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. But as
So
far
what's
as,
your opinion on renewable energies as investments, like your solars and winds and things of that nature?
uh it's volatile, but oil is here to stay for the time being. There's just not enough people are too broke to even buy electric cars to begin with. I don't think anybody wants to spend money on making a car note.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. All my cars, I pretty much try to pay cash for them. But
Yeah.
with that electric, I mean, the solar panels are so expensive. Like you get your money back over time. It's just like getting into a property. I mean, to a degree, if you starting off one at a time, you buy a couple panels here, a couple of panels there. I mean, actually do good, but then the whole system is involved. Buying the batteries, buying the converter kits, the wiring, all that stuff is a process. I mean, to have money up front is better, but doing it over time and upgrading your equipment as you go along, that's a lot of time and money a lot of people don't have. So just basically flat out doing it the old fashioned way off the system is better for most. Even with, like you were going back to earlier when you was talking about preparing and stocking up. I mean, right when Corona first happened and everybody was running, I stocked up on, rice, beans, water, cleaning stuff, sanitize. I mean, I just got a whole bunch of bleach and stuff already before that. But I just stocked up more on the bleach, stocked up more on the rice and beans, a lot of frozen goods. I got like an
Hmm.
upright deep freezer full of a lot of, just meat and stuff to a degree, and just vegetables, a lot of that, to where I can cook that. And let's say if I'm snowed in or something like that, I got generator. Well, not generator. I got an inverter, which is more quieter. I got four wheelers that I can move around if the just so happen vehicle messed up or something like that, or it's frozen. I got four wheelers. I got my basic tools, shovels, and all that stuff. Fire starter kit, whistles, things where I can
So,
like.
what do the
He,
whistles do?
Oh, I'm prepared for anything, even walkie talkies,
but
yo.
Oh.
Do you have firearms?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got one case. I'm working on my second case to fill up,
Okay, excellent, excellent.
so
and I
as an
got
investment, y'all don't solar is a no-go for investment purposes, because I remember like back in the day when computers came out, computers were super super expensive,
Oh,
but eventually as they got in mass production, now you get them for a whole lot less, but you don't foresee that in no time.
Well,
well,
everybody, that's the thing. So with higher inflation, more people want to protect their purchasing power. So money is going to flow into the stock market. So it might trickle down into renewables. So you might get a good return on investment in solar, just for the simple fact that there's at least $17 trillion right now as we speak that's sitting on the sidelines.
I mean, that's even like with what's his name? Akon. Akon, he did something for Africa to where he was up under the radar when he started doing those solar panels and stuff over there. I think he got like $1 billion loan from China to do that, the infrastructure to build the solar panels and stuff over there, because everything was set up for America. But when Bush was in office, he denied that stuff. So they had all those panels and stuff sitting in the warehouse. And when Akon came along, he just took basically what the stuff that they had for America and took it over there. And all the major companies start getting in with Shell, and all the electric companies just start going on board and working with him, because he basically started the grounds on running all that stuff. So they would have come over there, they were only going to deal with him basically. So they knew they couldn't like corner the market. So they just deal with him, because over there, I mean, for the most part, they got charging stations. That's it. They don't even really have.
Um, can I address magnetic cubism?
Yeah.
Cube saying, he said, why would I want to live in a world like that? I'm not exactly sure how old he is, but there actually was a world where people went outside, didn't have cell phones, didn't have internet, and people actually had fun in that world. So I would be curious, magnetic cubism, to see how old are you? Just curious.
Oh, I was just talking about that. How much I can't remember whose panel was on, Koja, but I was talking about how back in the day, I remember playing as a little girl, and we would just run in the house. Like, the door was always open. We didn't lock our doors. But now you can't say that anymore. You better lock your door. You better lock your car door. You better lock everything. Hide your wife, hide your kids, hide everything. Things have definitely changed. I know that. Not just with technology, but just with the way people are. We don't look out for one another. It is it's so weird. It's so weird to go from that to where we are now.
I've heard, and it's something, and men, please chime in because I don't want to monopolize that. But I heard something so weird, and it's like they talk just the lack of basic respect that people say. I was like, everybody is entitled to respect basic civility. And the person was pushing back, like, I was like, when did we come to a place that speaking to someone in a civil way is viewed as a weakness, and somebody had to do something to be deserving to be talked to respectfully, not kissing ass, just the basic stuff. So I heard that on a panel or thing, and I was wondering, is it a thing that we don't do, that people have to do something to be deserving of respect? I just thought just being a person in existence was deserving of a basic level of civility and respect.
I agree with you, Koja. I think, I hear a lot of stuff on panels, and I'm gonna because we want to hear you, man. I think a lot of things that there's certain people I listen to on panels, and this might be wrong, but it's just the truth. And there's certain people I don't like. Everybody up here, I don't really know the two. I've seen Ice a little bit, but for the most part, everybody up here I know is logical and reasonable. But some people get on panels and they just it's in one ear and out the other, because I know they're gonna come up with some ignorant mess. So I don't take it to, because who don't know that? But I do realize that we come from different cultures. Like, there's different cultures within different areas, and so some people might feel like, they never had respect. Why should I give other people respect? So that's just them. But the way I grew up, you do show people the basic level of respect until they give you a reason not to.
Yeah.
But you men, you got it.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, when it come down to it, this
I don't want to go into this whole big thing, but a lot of this junk is a joke. Like when I hear guys, online and we talk about how women, well, a woman need to respect me, and like I heard this one guy, he was expressing how women need to be more submissive and do all this, and I'm like, dude, like if you don't have your stuff together, because I always say this, and a lot of people get it misunderstood. When I say knowledge of self, if you don't know who you are, how can you lead somebody else? If you don't know the situation, I mean that goes for both man, male or female. If a woman don't know who she is, how can she be in a relationship with a man trying to lead her? She's not going to be, led properly. And I'm saying lead as my thing is this whole submissive stuff, it gets thrown around. I'm point blank the leader. Because if something happens, I'm first line of defense. If somebody breaks in the house, I'm not waking up my wife to say, go handle that or let's go together. No, you stay here. I'm going to go check it out. I'm first line of defense. That's why I say I'm leading my family. When it come down to bills, money, you know, I had a conversation with one of my friends. His girlfriend got mad at me because I told his girlfriend that my wife would never make more money than me. She thought it was some type of chauvinistic stuff, but I told her, I was like, the way that I work and the type of industry I'm in, I can always make more money than her because I can just work a little harder, or just work a little more because majority of the times, in most cases, men do put in more hours. So even if the woman do put in a whole bunch of, not saying that my wife can't make more money than me and she'll never make more money than me. She could. It don't matter to me. That's why I don't understand. My wife, she can become a doctor and make more money than me. Was that holds her ranking because of the money? Like no, that's why I don't get it. With a lot of these guys, they don't they wouldn't date a woman that makes more money than them. I mean, if she don't respect you, she's not gonna respect you if she got money or don't got money. So that's not even an issue. Like I won't even be with a person like that. My wife, we joke all the time, and she was like, "What if I was ratchet and want long lashes and always want to spend money and go to the club?" I'm like, I just go buy some milk and never come back. And she started laughing because I told her, I was like, I don't, that's not my life. I wouldn't want to date a woman to deal with a woman like that. And to a degree, I laugh in this space because most guys, when they say women choose wrong, I always say this, no, they choose right. They want those type of guys. And you saying they choose wrong means you want those type of women that look the way. Because I always put it, society standard states this. Most of the guys are looking for the IG model type chicks. They're looking for the girls with a Brazilian butt lift. The society standard, you have to look a certain way to be accepted. So when you bring her to the family, everybody approves. Nobody wants to take the okay looking girl because she's not getting a lot of gawking or look. Like this woman is choosing you. She wants to be with you. She loves you. She thinks you're God. But the point of it is, in your eyes, she's not fine enough. And that's why I don't understand with these guys. That's why, like, at the end of the day, if you don't see your worth of knowledge of self, you can't see anybody else worth, the person you're with. So, when we have these gender war arguments, I laugh at that. Like I tell guys, I don't even have a dog in the fight. I've been married for 15 years. So when it comes down to it, it's like, what are we really arguing about? We're really arguing about the chick that we want, the chick that we need, or what? Even with women, they have this argument as well. Ain't no good men out there. Well, obviously you've been dealing with men that ain't good, because the good men are there. You just don't see them past all the other guys that you've been dealing with. It comes a time when you have to look in the mirror and reflect on yourself. You've been choosing all these people because I know girls that, come from good families. As soon as they smell somebody that smell like weed and approach them, if a dude be like, "What's up, baby?" Nope. Bye. No disrespect, but you don't approach me like that. I've seen women do that. And dudes get mad and okay, yeah, you can call me that, but at the end of the day, I'm still not dealing with you. I've seen men do that to women. Women come up to them, hey shawty, you look good, and dude look at her. All right, thank
Good,
you. Go on about
good
his way.
morning, Kane. Um, yeah, I'm over the gender war. I've never been a part of it. I think it's lame. To me, it's mostly an internet thing. Um, and like you said, it goes both ways, and it can go back and forth all day. And they are worried about people that they want. They just don't want to admit that they want those people. Like because the people that they're complaining about are this. They're describing people that they say that they don't want, but that's who their focus is on. If I'm focused, if I every day I get up here and talk about a certain type of man, that's the type of man I'm really interested in. Because why would that be on my brain? I don't talk about things that I'm not interested in, which is why I really don't talk about the gender war. To be quite frank, I really have not been into that.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't help anything. It's a hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Stingray,
It's
cool,
ages and
King to God. Go
it's
ahead.
ages and stages. Ages and stages. I don't expect somebody 22 to be talking about, oh, that's at 22, they supposed to be in the club. They supposed to be having fun. You're looking
Right.
for different thing at different things. The thing is when people don't grow up and then you're the 45-year-old man in the club with your head turned around backwards and your skinny jeans on now. And you still trying to
Uh,
govern yourself and pick
uh,
girls that your friends will say, oh, you got a 10, you got a 10, instead of picking for yourself. And the submission thing, that your girl ain't, if y'all gonna talk the submission talk, you're only supposed to be submissive to your one man unless you into polyandry and you got two men, I guess maybe. But women are not supposed to be submissive to every man.
I
If you
told
want
I
your wife being submissive to the postman, the milkman, the cable man,
the drug dealer, like it don't make sense. Of course
just the
not.
husband.
And I said that on Sir Ism's panel. Um, she if you guys I don't think she minds if you guys want to come up. I'm probably gonna hop down. But yeah, like if a dude is laying on your couch playing PlayStation, he don't deserve submission. As a matter of fact, he don't deserve coochie. I've said all this. Everybody's not to be submitted to. When you're dating and you're in college and you're still getting your education, you've been going out with the guy for a few months. No, he doesn't deserve your submission. Like I absolutely agree with you, coach, that it is stages, and that's the thing. Like I think at a certain age group, you should not, and that's for men and women, you should not still be having these issues. You just shouldn't. If you still having the same dating issues you was having when you was 20, there's a problem. There is a serious problem with what you're doing. Um, and the focus should not be on the opposite sex all the time. Whether you're a man or a woman, think about your future. Think about where
mhm.
you want to be, and then the person will come. Like I've never seen so many people so focused on coochie and penis. All I swear to God, I just don't get it. When I was a young person, yeah, I was out there in the clubs having fun. Don't regret it. Shit, I'm 40 and I still go out. Well, not now with
Mm.
COVID, but I still have a good time. I enjoy my life. You have one life, you better enjoy it
Yeah.
and
I
stop
mean,
worrying. Mhm.
the average age on this space is 30 plus, so
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah, we be acting
Yeah.
immature as hell, don't we?
But then the crazy part is this,
Yeah.
like the gender war is big business. I mean, you gotta understand, even with this whole dynamic between the men and women. Let's say you get married, get a divorce, and divorce is promoted as well because you got two households, two Christmas, two cars, more money being spent, child support, all that stuff. Like all this division is better for society. Us joining
Hmm.
together and working with each other, it puts a, excuse me, it puts a issue in the society to where they can't function because everything's designed like that. As far as the TV we
Hmm.
watch, the social media that we go, everything is glorified to where I know people in their 40s and 50s that can't live without social media, like literally.
She
Jeez.
And
that
this
want to
is the
ask you.
older ages.
She that want to ask you
Mm.
because it's your channel. Did you want? Because I know you said you weren't going to stay up here too long. Did you want me to drop your link, or do you not want me to drop your link?
I'll redrop it. Yeah,
Okay,
because
I can drop it too. I have it.
okay.
Go ahead, talk, boo.
Yeah, but I mean, it just crazy like that because, focusing on the future. That's why I keep telling guys, my thing is this. A lot of guys who have these issues, I understand. You had a bad deal. You dealt with a chick that she wasn't, like, she was dishonest, and that happens. Same thing with women. They say, well, he was a player, he did me wrong. I understand. But both of y'all should be doing this. Focusing on yourself, bettering yourself. For the men need to go out here and strive to make more money, start picking up a trade. If you can't go to college, you never was big in school, pick up a trade or something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody can't be a doctor, lawyer. Everybody's not gonna make six figures. But the point is to strive, trying to make that six figure is the goal.
Yep.
Don't settle.
Totally agree.
Don't. Yeah, I knew a guy. I used to work doing a job where this guy worked at the IRS, and basically he explained to me and got me in the stock and everything because he said he had one guy worked at Walmart. Dude
Hmm.
made like 28, $30,000, but he was filing 120,000 and stuff. And I'm like, dang, what? And he's like, yeah, dude was making damn near 80 to $100,000 on the stock market.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize, but the top 1% of income earners in the US, half their income is in the stock market.
Yeah.
So just to put that in perspective, like uh my my one of my relatives, she's retired now, but she was a hospital administrator at New York Sinai Hospital, and her earnings, she just doubled it up. Uh, her overall earnings in the stock market, since the New York Stock Exchange is close to where she's at.
Can I add something? I
Hmm.
don't know if most people know that the divorce rate hovers around 51% now. But I'm gonna just put a scenario out there. Me and you meet where you 27, I'm 25. Now we
Hmm.
both didn't have nothing when we got together. Basically, you had an apartment, I had an apartment. So because we together now, we both working, we're able to save a little more. We're able to amass a house and some other
Hmm.
things, and we separate. Had we
Hmm.
not been together, we would not have amassed that. So then people
Hmm.
say, "Well, I lose everything," but both sides forget. Hey, it was because we were together, no longer two rents, no longer two cable bills, two this, two that. That we amassed stuff, and then it's like, "Well, I lose everything." No, y'all came further than y'all would have alone, and still y'all have to divide that stuff up. But people talk about things without a legal knowledge of divorce. Number one, unless one person makes significantly more than the other, there is really no alimony. Now, if a person took the position that they wanted their wife or husband to be a stay-at-home person, then that's where the alimony issue enters. But if you're making and people are not making six figures like they project, because when you go to Vital Statistics and you get the
Hmm.
average median income and this and that and what the average person make. I think in the state of Florida, this stuff hover under 55,000 for median family income. But
Hmm.
if you making 45,000, your wife making 45,000, and you making 50,000, unless you've been in each state have individual things, but they got what they call short-term marriage, immediate, and long-term. Long-term is anything over 17 years. It varies by different state, a year or two. But
Hmm.
that's the only way you could get probably even close to lifetime alimony. And if you're not those people where like you were making 100 and she was making 20, but let's say y'all was together 7 years and you were making that and she wasn't, she's only going to get a couple of years of alimony. only a couple of years. It's not going to be significant. So a lot of people talk about stuff and they hear other people talking on it. They don't really have the facts of it, and they take and they go off it. But when they really get down to the nuts and bolts of it and the other stuff and really narrow it out, they don't. They take in my friend, like when my girlfriend come and tell me something, I'm hearing her version. I'm not hearing the actual real thing. But they take their friend's version as absolute gospel without knowing the intricacies of actually what happened.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is like hypergamous marriages is actually going down. Everybody, most people married laterally. They don't marry up necessarily like that. I mean, because now women make just as much money as men.
So when I hear this stuff being said, I'm like, dude, you either have never been married or you're going on misinformation, and some of these dudes be up here talking about stuff they actually are not even personally involved in. And I remember in elementary school, they started a message on one side of the classroom and you were supposed to whisper it in the other person. Yeah, this was before COVID. And the message was never, when it got to the last person, it didn't resemble even a tenth of what was the original message. So you hear people spreading stuff and spreading stuff and spreading stuff, and each time it gets changed.
Well, I mean, that might have been true like 40 years ago, but now, you those days of getting alimony or taking the house and all that, those kind of days are over pretty much. And to begin with, nobody's really getting married at all. The marriage rate is at a 150-year low. So I don't know.
So when we hear these stories, that I'm gonna call these tales, but they're used as the basis of a lot of stuff on these panels that create the gender war. I'm like, y'all not actually getting the facts. You're getting different versions. I say go to the law. And you know, when you commit a crime, if you take a plea bargain and don't take it to trial because you're afraid, of course you agree to 5 years probation. It wasn't fair. And if you go into your divorce or whatever, and you take a plea deal instead of fighting, then you get what you get. But most people, like I say, are repeating.
Millennials and zennials, nah. Those conversations were like from the boomers and Gen Xers, because those are the two population cohorts that have the most wealth in this country. So you're not gonna see a guy getting ripped to shreds as a millennial or a zennial in divorce court. You'll never see that happen. Those days are pretty much over.
Yeah, I mean I listen to that, and
I mean, because I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, man, that's something like my parents. That's something that you hear, like the boomer or the Gen X. I'm a millennial, so like that has nothing to do with me. All the women I've dated, they all have bachelor's degrees and they make just as much money as I do. So, I mean,
yeah, I mean that was for the stay at home white crowd, and then the guys who always try to portray that their wife gonna stay home, and man,
nah,
dude,
you got to make two incomes in this country, especially with inflation, the way living costs are now. You can't do it on one income. Only the top 5 to 1% can possibly do that, and even then, that's going to be a stretch, because if the Democrats ever pass a wealth or income tax hikes, then it's your income is going to suffer.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I mean, to a degree, when it comes to marriage, you gotta figure out what you want, and you and that woman gotta sit there and make that decision and work it out. I mean, the point of it is, everything's not forever, you know. But the point, you going in with the intent for it being, that's the goal, you know.
Hmm.
I love my wife, but things change over time. If she decides to divorce, I mean, they call it black pill or whatever, but I'm in reality. I
Hmm.
know over time stuff happens. You know, you can break stuff, you can fix it. You know, you can
Hmm.
mend stuff, put a band-aid on it, either or. But the point, you know, nothing is
Hmm.
100%. You got
Oh yeah, absolutely.
40-year marriages back in the day, and you got like walking, what is it? Walking divorces where dude just walk out the house and never come back,
Hmm.
you know.
And that's why they talk about the divorce rates. I was like, you all are, because you hear something repeated and it's repeated enough till people think it's true. Well, back in the day, like my grandma and them day and they granddaddy and her mama and them day, they couldn't even afford no damn divorce. They just left. They just left and the man picked up and started a new life somewhere else. And then they got somebody husband who had walked off and left somebody. So you're not gonna see these great numbers of filings in the court systems from the 1930s and 40s and 50s, even though those husbands and wives, some of them were not together because they couldn't afford divorce.
Yeah, I mean,
But how they portrayed those times and stuff back then, they have a very rose-colored view because anybody who's been married or in a relationship know it takes work. And when I see people that are together 40, 50 years, it's stupid to think that it was always good times. Some people went through some stuff, and if you ask them to give you the grown person conversation of how they was able to stay together that long, most people today don't wouldn't even have the stick to itness to stay because it's just too easy to get like, why I'm gonna stay in this? Why I'm gonna stay in this? You just get up and walk away, but it take a lot of work to stay.
Hmm.
Yeah, we ain't like that shit. We don't even go and fix our TVs. What we do, that TV tore up. I ain't calling nobody to come out here and fix it. It's gonna cost more money to call somebody to fix it. Throw this bitch on the pile and go get me one at the Black Friday sale. And that's what they be doing, getting these Black Friday relationships. What you mean go to counseling? Counseling costs $200 an hour. I'm finna go get me a new bitch for $50 an hour. We going to the Red Lobster.
yeah. I mean, relationships, man. See, that's why we trying to stay away from these topics. I be trying to focus more on money and just getting people empowered because my thing, like I said, if a man, like even in this space, if I focus more on money and trying to get myself together, if I get married, that's a plus. If I don't get married, then I got wealth accumulated to where I can take care of myself. You know, because this is the biggest catch, whether it be man or woman. You're gonna get old, and that whole die alone is not just for women; it's for men too. When he talks about that die alone and get a dog, men are going through that same struggle. You know, because you can call a certain like MGTOW or whatever, but the point of it is either you checked out from having relations or you. I mean, honestly speaking, I can hear the crazy. I can hear a lot of these guys. They not getting chicks because they don't approach them. They don't know how to talk to women. So that's why they coming with this whole aggressiveness to women because a lot of dudes can't get chicks because they don't know how to talk. Even let's say you go overseas, do the whole SYSBM thing. Like those chicks, you still got to talk to them too. And even with the diverse community with the men and women, if I was going to go and get somebody out of a different community, why am I broadcasting it? I'll just go ahead and do it. Like this whole, I gotta make a channel talking about divesting for women. Same thing with the men. Oh, I'm SYSBM. No, just do it. And then you have these panels where guys come on bashing the black community and women bashing the black community. I'm like, if you don't like me, why must you do every video referring to how you don't like black men, but then you're saying, man, I'm about to go get me a white guy. I'm about to go get me a Chinese or a Mexican and all this because black man is this and black man is that. Every single video is dedicated to you running away from something you like, but putting it out there as, you know, these men are no good. We hear that in the space. I ain't gonna say too many names, but there's
It is so juvenile. You know, I'm older probably than most people on this panel. We used to play hand games. We used to play Twirl Elite and all this here. And we used to have this thing say, white boy, you don't shine. I'ma get a black boy to beat your behind. Black
I
boy,
remember
you.
that.
And that's what these panels literally sound like. They sound like some
Childish.
4-year-old hand game we used to play that grown people up here playing. And when I hear that, I was like, that's all that is. The little game. Spanish boy, you don't shine. I'ma get a what you call it, beat your. And literally, how can grown people who drink and can go to war be up here playing little kids hand game on the internet? And that's what it is.
Oh, can I say this too? Coach is right. You guys are right. Like, I've noticed that. That's why I don't participate, because this is the thing, and we've all said it. What's going on online? This race and sex war. It's really more of a sex war that we're in, where they use other people's race to hover over people of their own race. But it's ridiculous. Yes. Oh, he left. He'll drop it, Kane, as soon as he can. And Kane, I don't know why I can't find it, because I subbed to you this morning. So if you guys don't know, Kane has a new channel. Something happened to his old one, so we need to get him back up. So please sub to Kane. I think when she comes back, he's going to give him a wrench, okay? But basically, that's what it is, Coach. Let me tell you, men, why that's going on. Because for a long time on the internet, also, you've had the Save Yourself Black Men and all these other ones that, which I can't. I'm gonna take that back, because not all of them talk about Black women. But you've had these groups so long in this space do the same thing that these women are doing. They've been doing the same thing, talking bad about Black women every day in and day out. I know, because I was there, and talking about how the Latino woman and every other woman on the planet is so much better than them. But that's been going on. And so now you see this group, you can call it the Army or Cynthia G, I don't know, but I don't really want to bring her up, because she has changed so much. Her talking points have changed. It's not what it started out as. It's really gone into some crazy shit with the abortion thing. But the point is, that's what they're calling it. But they have this army of a group of women that are basically doing the same thing that group of men did. So it's the same thing. They, instead of just going about their way, if that's what they want to do, they want to drag their own race at the same time, which does not make sense. And to be honest, it looks crazy to people of other races. I work with people of other races, and they see this, and it makes them look crazy. Nobody wants a desperate broad or a desperate man that don't like their own people.
You don't hear let's say Asian men. You don't hear them say, even if they marry out their race, you don't hear them say, oh, Asian women ain't shit. They not finna talk about their mama and their sister and their cousin like that. They may marry outside, but they not
gonna bash their whole
yeah. And that's what I see. You do your thing, but you don't have to. Everything I need to know, I learned in kindergarten. They say if you ain't got nothing nice to say, the teacher say, just keep your motherfucking mouth shut.
True. I mean, it's really that simple.
But I mean, when I traveled overseas, it was not for women or anything. I just liked it because, hey, it was cheap, and I like the culture of different people. So
I'm a proponent of people traveling. I've traveled,
and it just saddens me that something that's supposed to expand your horizon is used as a weapon against other folks.
Well, that's
what I have an issue with. Yeah.
Well, it's lies. People who've been overseas and know how poor that these other people are, let's tell the truth about it. Listen, a lot of it's prostitution. See, they can't. That's why I sit up here, honey, sitting pretty, because I know what it is, because I've been to overseas countries, and most of them are poor as hell. Most of the time, those women are living 2, 3, 4, 5 women in a little tiny 1-room shack. So they can miss me with the bullshit, because I know what it is. So that's why, you have areas every country
BOGO tricking, buy one get one half off.
has beautiful. Listen, I just recently went to the mountains in North Carolina and saw the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life right here in the United States. So you don't have to leave the country really to see beauty, but it is nice to travel. But don't sit up here and make people feel bad because you recognize that a lot of people haven't traveled, and
But
you
this
want to make yourself seem like something you're not. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Talk about the poverty that you saw when you were over there. Unless you just stayed on the tourist land, then you really didn't see everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I specifically like going to the, I guess you would call it the poor areas, just because, you know, I think my money is well spent over there, because it's kind of like a form of charity to me.
Oh yeah,
You know.
and it's
So,
culture. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying, but it was never, you know, when I
We go
left,
to Mexico to buy something from made in Japan.
yeah, like when I left a few years ago, I never knew nothing about this YouTube, these YouTube streets, like what was going on, you know.
What's your
So,
name? I can't see your name. What's your YouTube name?
oh, Enhanced Utility.
Oh, enhance you. Well, it's nice to meet you. Y'all,
Yeah.
I stayed a little longer than I planned on it, Sheed, but I wanted to talk, and it's always good to see you, Kosha, and everybody. But I am going to hop down because I actually have some things I got to do this morning, going to the gym
Okay.
a little later. All righty. But I'll be
All
listening,
right.
y'all. Have a good
All
one.
right.
See you, Mahogany.
Take
Yes,
care.
ma'am.
Yeah.
You too.
But
Bye-bye.
that's like the crazy part. Like, even if I was to travel, I'm not traveling for no woman. A woman traveling and everything, the sightsee is good. A woman being there is a plus for me. Like, if I was to do that, and if I was that type of guy in that type of environment type deal, traveling and women there is already a given. So that's a plus. I like, you know,
It shouldn't
there,
be your singular focus.
yeah.
That's what I would say. I mean, like I said, when I went to Ukraine in 2013, it was strictly, you know, just a sightsee. I mean, I don't know
Well,
about this other stuff.
if men want to meet women, I would tell men to take a cruise. The numbers of women to men be like a college campus, HBCU, because when you women are in a relationship, what we do, we get our girls together and we go on cruises together. I know a couple of people on my job, and I'm from a small town. The girls get together and they go, because sometimes their husband or boyfriend don't want to go, but not all of them married. They go on cruises, and if you ever go on a cruise, you'll see the number of women that outnumber men. So, and all the food paid for. So
Yeah.
that's what I would tell men to do. They don't have to go overseas. They can get on a cruise and everything paid for.
But
Like I said, I like going
and
overseas.
that's like
That's just me.
yeah.
Oh, you can
Well, I
talk.
was gonna say too with that. Yeah, I was gonna say too with that. Even like my wife being Jamaican, I didn't go to Jamaica to meet her. She was in America. There's a lot of little small areas in every city and every town where you have a island area, you have an American area, you have a foreign Chinese or whatever. So if you're into these type of women, they're in these areas. Go talk to them and see how you approach your approach. And if you can, be cool with them, then cool. But other than that, I mean, just that's what I don't understand. Like, your whole approach is that. Like I said, most
Shit,
guys.
where you from?
Um,
I mean, what part of the country you live in?
I live in Atlanta.
'Cause most of these states that border around the water, like Florida and maybe Mexico, so you always have a variety of people coming in. Like, even I'm from Florida, but New York, we had and I'm from a small town, whole group of people, Haitian, Jamaican, followed the seasonal stuff, and Hispanic and all of that followed the season up these coasts. And so you do have a variety of a lot of different nationalities and stuff on these coastal towns.
Most major cities in the United States, have immigrant groups to begin with. So
Yeah.
Atlanta, I mean, where I'm from, I'm in DFW, Texas, and so we have Indians, we got Korean, Vietnamese, Russian, you name it. We pretty much got everybody under the sun here.
Yeah,
So.
that's like in Atlanta, man. If you go to
hmm
like Buford Highway in Atlanta, is like a little area. It's just Chinese and Mexicans run that
hmm
whole strip, and
Oh,
they
and I
doing
forgot. Yeah, we have we have Hispanics also in my area
yeah.
since it's Texas, so it's a given. So I mean,
I'm gonna put
like
up
I said,
a
uh
short.
huh.
I'm gonna
hmm
post a short today. This morning
hmm
when I got off of work, I stopped by the Walmart, and what I saw this morning, cause I'm in an agricultural town, they have like
hmm
the old school buses. I guess they be on bottom. The people who do agricultural work from other countries.
Yeah.
And
hmm
this morning was the morning, and it was probably around 8:30, 9 o'clock. All of the immigrant men, and I think these men are from other countries, were
hmm
there. The line lined up to the money place in the Walmart. I forget, the little money spot with in the Walmart.
The
They were. It was
remittances
a.
part, yeah. hmm
It was lined up with them. Then there was another bus, and I took a picture of them getting off, sending that money back home to their wives and their families. And when you hear men sometimes up here talking about they don't want to do that, I was like, these men come to this country, and I ain't gonna say they don't cheat and drink they firewood. I ain't finna say that, but they was up there sending their money back home, and I was like, why in America we don't have that? That's what they do, and it was like
We,
between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning. As soon as that money, I forget it's the name of it in Walmart, but you know where you go and you get your money orders, and they got the little machine and all of that stuff. They were already 4 days sending that money home.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was
MoneyGram.
beautiful. You know
Yeah.
how the Walmart
It's
had
Walmart
what
to
they
Walmart.
they got the check, the place where you go and cash your checks and all of that. Cause Walmart is cheaper than the bank. Like Walmart don't charge for $3 to cash a check. If you write me a check off your personal account, which I know people don't do that no more, but if you wrote me a check off your personal account from Wells Fargo, I would have to pay $10 to cash your check. So if you wrote me a check for $10, they would literally, and you could go to Walmart and cash a check for $3.
Mhm.
But it was beautiful, and I was like, why in America we got so many people worried about being done wrong and this and that these men ain't even there to watch their women and their families and stuff, and they still sending that money back home.
Yeah, I mean, because the one thing about it, it's a culture thing over there to where the women respect the men in their degree. Same thing over here, but it's vice versa. Because I mean, there's men that do that for their women. Most women in America is over the finance. Majority of the women over the finance. Men might come in and regulate or say a few things, but the majority of the women in America over finance. So when a man get his check, majority of the time, you know, that check goes into his account. Most women have access to the account to pay the bills and stuff like that. That's like my account. My wife, she got access to one of my accounts to where if she needs, she just pull money out, or I can send money to her.
hmm
And that's like the biggest thing to where it is done over here, but you don't hear about it. See, that's the biggest thing when it comes down to it. If you don't hear about it, you don't think it's prevalent in the community. We do it. It's just not the norm, because you have maybe 10 guys doing it out of 20, or 10 guys doing it out of 50. It's not known. Like guys don't do that. They don't take care of this. So when they had that study about black men being the best fathers, a lot of people tried to say, well, if you ask a man a question, is he a good dad? He a good dad. Yeah, he of course he gonna say yeah. But then the study goes farther than you just asking. A man, you have to ask the women, you have to ask the kids. That's the consistency of that study, not just asking them. If you ask a woman if she's the most beautiful woman in the world, of course she's gonna say yeah, unless she got some type of depression issues or something. Of course she's gonna say she's beautiful. But you have to go further than that. Ask family, ask friends, ask co-workers. Does this woman look good? That's the whole thing of a study. Just
You know
going
what they say is
past.
three type of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. And we Anybody who got an ounce of education know you can skew a poll if you want to. You can make leading questions. You can guide stuff in the way that you want it to go to solicit a certain response. You can narrow it down to go to a certain demographic group, a certain socioeconomic group that is guaranteed to give you what you want. But I say it's good to listen to statistics, but it's also good to see what you observe in your everyday life and how you see people. I say we always up here gender warring, but I say the quickest test to me, what I see, and they may not do this in the cities and stuff, is when somebody on my job die, these women take up collection. They take it up for men, and people say that's not the way you should do it. And it's not because the people don't have insurance or whatever, but they take it up for men, they take it up for women. And we don't never hear about that on the panels and the different things like that because we on the panel and we just literally in a verbal sparring match to see who is going to win, and we want to win at all costs in these debates. But it's not a true reflection of what I see a lot of things that happen.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand in this space, it's a reflection of what you want it to be. On the panels, guys coming up, women coming up. That's why, like, I like having safe space to where a woman can come up. Cause let it be known, if any dude come on my panel and I just say cut it, man, don't go at the women like that. I'm not for women, and if you cutting at men, talking junk to them, I drop a woman just like I drop a man on the panel, because you gotta respect each other. That's the key. If you don't like what somebody's saying, all right, that's cool. Like, I don't even condone all that yelling and stuff. Like I keep telling people, this is the internet. You're not gonna see this person in real life. So why are you yelling to have so much hate for a person that you probably would never see? And that shows the circus in which a lot of people come on here to do.
Yeah, I match energy and I match respect and disrespect. If you come at me a certain way, I'm gonna cuss you back out just like you're gonna cuss me out. But if you come at me in another way, and um, in these panels, there are they democracies. No one gets the 51% because of their gender. I think that's sometimes what takes place. But I'm gonna go ahead and drop off. I really enjoyed the convo, and I look forward to your other topics. Black Wall Street was started on 40 acres, and they didn't wait for the government to give it to them. So that's the irony, the one little fact that I heard about it. So you all have a great one, and I thank you all for allowing me up there. Ice turned it on, went to sleep.
Mm.
All right,
Hey,
good night.
comment in the chat, Koja. I'm
Okay,
trying to get Ice to comment as well.
I
Yeah,
will.
but I mean, yeah, that's why I keep saying focusing on the money aspect and, getting yourself together. That's like the biggest thing that I be on, man. Because when it come down to it, a lot of people, we focus more on the relationship aspect and just trying to get that perfect person. There is no such thing as a perfect person, no perfect relationship. To the point, if you're not even taking care of yourself, getting money, then how are we going?
Absolutely.
You know your camera on?
Yeah, what's going on, yo?
Okay. What's going on?
How y'all feeling?
Good, good, man. How about you?
Shit, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. You did, for the most part. Shit, motherfuckers ain't even. I just seen Mark Nash had shared this channel, so shit popped up. See what the fuck was going on. You did.
Yeah. Mark, my boy, man. I be over there. He be cutting up, doing the music and stuff. But nah, we just basically, it rolled over from finance and people talking about crypto and stock and buying houses, investing, to just this whole argument between the men and women. Is like over time it gets outdated, because the stuff we might talk about over on YouTube and just having this whole thing about the gender war, women acting this way as certain women or men acting this way, you ultimately choose that person and deal with them.
I think
Do you guys have a brokerage account?
I actually have one through a crowdfund. I mean, with TD Ameritrade.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say if you're an active investor, the one company I would suggest is Gerdau SA. It's a Brazilian steel company.
Mm-hmm.
It's a penny stock right now. It's trading around $4.63 a share. The ticker symbol is GGB.
Okay.
Uh, it's a good play. It pays quarterly dividends at a 7% rate, so it's pretty high for the price. So it's a good deal on your end, and it's a good infrastructure play since Joe Biden's going to sign the infrastructure bill on Monday.
You got GGB, and what's the name of it?
The company's name is Gerdau SA. It's a Brazilian steel company, basic materials, in the
Okay.
basic materials sector, but Citigroup just upgraded to a buy rating, so it looks like it's going to jump up from $4.63 to about $6.50 in the next few months.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just to give you a little tip right there, man. I own shares of that company, so it's pretty legit. Quarterly, last quarter, third quarter earnings was remarkable. They just
All right.
doubled from 32 cents a share, and from second quarter and third quarter from last week was 62 cents. So they doubled their earnings.
Yeah, I did my research on it today, and
Yes,
I'll
sir.
look at it.
I mean, it's like the cheapest undervalued penny stock for U.S. infrastructure you could possibly do. So
Okay.
I hope you make a fortune off of my idea, brother.
Yeah, I'll take it
Hey,
into consideration.
Hmm.
y'all into battle rap? Nah.
Not too much, but I watch some of the channels that Mark be having put me on the battle rap and stuff. You know.
Yeah, man. I just want to, shout out to you in the channel. I want to see if I can get my input on one of the conversations y'all had, especially regarding the men and women. But shit, it sound like y'all might finna wrap it up and y'all talking about I'm not really into this stock and trading, so I don't know what's going on. It's going over my
Oh,
head.
you can
So
go ahead
shout out to
and
y'all.
chop it. You can chop it up to the relation stuff, but we were just throwing it out there because like I said, I was talking about money and everything. You know, what's
Right,
your
right, right.
thing?
Well, I was just gonna say Wednesday, November 17th, we got a card, battle rap cards going down live on pay-per-view. Word Sport Battleground versus Cave Gang. You know what I'm saying? If anybody familiar with like Tay Rock or Chef Trez and some of those battle rappers, you feel what I'm saying, is going down live on pay-per-view. Um, only $20. Every 1,000 buys, we giving away $1,000 on, you know what I'm saying? So shit like that, you feel what I'm saying? And we just trying to keep that battle rap culture going. You feel what I'm saying? And you know,
Okay.
each one
Yeah.
teach one. We all support each other and keep each other up. You feel me?
Yeah.
And Mark Nash keep us all connected. You feel me?
Yeah.
Mark,
I'm a sub to your channel and stuff too, cause I see your name up here in the chat.
well, no, don't you ain't gotta just go. Y'all can go sub to Word Sport Battleground or Jules Gaming Lounge. I don't do nothing personally on my channel, but
Yeah, I be
like
over there on Jules.
yeah, he live right now. He live right now, but he over there, just playing the game and just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? And you
Yeah,
know,
him and Blue. I think I'm sub to
yeah,
Blue too.
yeah, them, it be going down over there. It's crazy. It's a lot more calmer and peaceful over there. You feel what I'm saying? It be wild over there.
Yeah. I be like I said, I be pulling up. I stop through because Mark gave me the channel, man. Yeah, Mark be on a lot of different stuff, man. I like he big in the rap thing because he raps himself, and then
Right, right,
he has this boxing to where a lot of guys he know that I actually ran into him on some boxing tip. The dude, the number
right.
one grinder, he's in the chat now, and
That's dope. That's dope. Like for real, that's dope as hell. Y'all be having some. I don't really. This is my first time over here, but I know if you fuck with him, you definitely you in tune with a lot of the shit I'm in tune with, especially with the boxing shit. So that's dope as
Yeah.
hell. But
So hey, I'm gonna look on. Would you say the name of the battle was again?
it's a Word Sport Battleground versus Cave Gang. It's a blood sport. It's gonna be live on pay-per-view. And
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? When I click off, I'll put the link in the chat if you don't mind or whatever. Well, I'm not a like I said,
Uh,
I get it to y'all somehow. You know what I'm saying?
put
You feel me? So
put some in the chat, then I'll go ahead and drop you one as a mod.
let me see if I can put it in the private chat.
No, just put it in the regular chat, and I'll mod you up.
Okay, I'm gonna do that too then. I'll just put it in the private chat also. But regarding the men and women, I think we both lean to the feeling of inadequacy. Like okay, like females be feeling like we put them down, but we also feel like females be putting us down. But I think we both land to the shit. You know what I'm saying? We both do this shit. It's it's like a catch-22. If like I don't understand, that should be, to be totally honest, this should be pisses me the fuck off. Excuse my language, brother. Like it truthfully do. I go down Facebook, I go through Instagram, I see dudes trying to tell females how they should live and woo woo woo. And I understand everybody has an opinion, and if I seen Kobe play basketball all my life and then I see a person in the street, I understand I say maybe tuck your elbow in and shoot better. You feel what I'm saying? I can give you little tips. But to go
Yeah.
as far as to saying this is how females should act and be and so on and so forth, and like the veracity in which motherfuckers be attacking each other is crazy. But then you hear females, a man should do this, a man should do that, a man should do this, a man should do that. You can't tell a man how to be. You a man? Especially if your pops wasn't around. Who was your positive influence? Because the people, the men you chose around, they probably not around no more. You feel what I'm saying? So females can't really tell niggas how to be men. But men can't tell females how to be no motherfucking females neither. That's a female move to me. I think everybody's supposed to motherfucking love each other, period. Man and woman go together. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't understand. Motherfuckers acting like, what, black women, what y'all just want to fuck each other? I see that's what's going on. Men, y'all want to fuck each other? That's what's going on. I see. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
My bad. The F bombs. My bad.
No, that's true. But when it comes down to it, that's the division that we have with each other. You know, and the men, they want to put it to the light to where I understand. Like my thing is this: when a guy talks, if you focus more on the behavior, then I'm cool with that. But by you trying to govern your whole thought pattern, man, that like I don't understand that. Like
Yeah.
as a man, I'm I'm gonna judge a man on his character, and I'm gonna judge a woman on her behavior. But other than that, I'm not telling you like you need to be this way to do what? Get with me? Because if she not willing to deal with me, then why am I trying to control her? You know. And my thing is, if I'm only gonna give advice to a dude to help him out, you know, and all these guys telling these young guys, man, it's a lost cause to not get married. I'm like, bro, you done had your time in the game. You played yourself in the limelight. You failed horribly, or you fouled out the game. Stop trying to make these young guys, because I hear guys like 19 to 22 talking about they'll never deal with a chick. I'm like, so what you gonna do? I mean, because if you
They
ain't
gonna
dealing
deal
with
with they
chicks,
niggas. They gonna deal with they niggas.
hey, because if you ain't dealing with chicks,
Salute
there's
Bruce
only
Lee.
one of them. Yep.
Salute Bruce Lee. Yeah, these niggas be acting like straight little mamas, man. They be like, yo, I be like, yo, listen, pull your skirt down, my dude. Eh, like, come on, bro. You can't be out here. You can't just be out here trying. I don't know, man. These niggas. I'm 32 years old. I'm trying to get married. You dig? I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm damn near done been through the stages, the shit that, you know what I'm saying, that other shit. You feel me? I done been through life. But for a motherfucker to be like they 19 and they ain't really finna deal with no women, they just gonna hit this bra, hit that bra, and then on top of that, that's disgusting. That's nasty. Like
Yeah,
that's nasty.
yeah, the
Like
pump and dump game. Like that, I mean, it's funny because most of these guys talking about they don't want hoes, but then you making women that when you start just pumping and playing with their emotions, it's cool for a dude to, grab a chick, have sex with her, and then just dish her to the side. But then when it get happen to a dude, you be the same guy talking about, oh man, see this why I do what I
shit.
do. These
Right,
hoes ain't nothing. But
right.
you perpetuate this stuff. You'll sit here and do it to a female, but you don't want a female to do it to a dude. When the woman say
Females
she running up
mirror
the
us.
bag, yeah,
They mirror us. It starts like a it starts, bro. It starts with us. We do it first, and then like a female usually don't go into her first sexual encounter. She gonna go into it maybe in her feelings. So when a dude ain't in his feelings, now she like, all right, I'm not gonna go into that situation no more because I seen what happened when I was in my feelings and went to a situation. So now she might hurt the next nigga, which gonna hurt the next bitch, which gonna hurt the next nigga, which gonna hurt the next, and it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. It's a terrible cycle. However, hey, that's the game of life, man. You got to think. I don't know, like it's a lot of dudes out here that's locked up. It's a lot of dudes that's dead. It's more females in the world that's than it is men. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's gonna always be that way though. It's gonna always be motherfuckers sharing, damn near, unless you can get one personally, individually. But as a collective and as a whole, I think this 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 whole situation that we find ourselves, and then it ain't helping it with the music. You see females out here talking about that the music that's going on is just fucking nigga, drug him and take his money type music. The nigga, obviously we know what the dude's been saying for the longest. You know what I'm saying? So that shit ain't gonna help it none, dog. You feel me? And then
yeah,
it's like the strippers, which used to be on the bottom of the totem pole as far as respectable careers, they're now looked at like it's good. It's because everybody is valuing money as opposed to fighting, climbing up the ladder to become a fucking lawyer or a doctor or so on and so forth. You feel what I'm saying? Now the doctors and the lawyer, them then went down and the strippers then went up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot of stuff that's going on. It's a lot of variables that's leading to the equation, which is damn near the fall of this man and woman dynamic. You feel what I'm saying? That's why you see these niggas out here doing the most and they putting gays everywhere, trying to act like that shit is just widespread, which is not. I don't see it.
yeah, because a lot of that stuff, man, is glorified, man. At the end of the day, the strippers are the new CEOs for women, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and to a degree, it's being pushed that way. That's why I say when it come down to some women, and in some cases, they're promoting this stuff to these younger girls to be awake. And I always say this a lot. You got back in the day with Big Mom, Grandma, all that. She'll be like, be independent. Don't be like me with your granddaddy, the way he treat me and do me wrong, this and that. But 5, 10 years, I mean, let's say 20, 30 years from now, when she doing her 30-year, anniversary, you still ain't married. You ain't got no kids. And you looking at yourself like, dang, how she still married for 40 years to this guy? But yet every single day she was telling me, don't be in my situation. From what I'm looking like, Big Daddy might have been kind of mean and yelling and act all crazy, but you done had a good life with him. He don't straighten up or whatever, and y'all been together forever. No, I ain't necessarily saying there's no deal for a woman to stay with a man to put hands on him and nothing like that. But a lot of times back in the day, they stayed together and made it work. And look at the life they live compared to a lot of them who was projected to not be in a relationship and all the stuff they didn't get out of a deal because a lot of women are starting late in life because they realizing now all the stuff I was told to stay single and stuff, it was told to me wrong because most of the time you like in the country or just coming to a point in most city people, marriage is key. Finding them at a younger age, the better. I got married at 25, and not saying that everybody should get married young, but the point of it is, I figured it out early because I wanted kids and I wanted to start early and do all this stuff. That's why I ended up married young. I already knew what I wanted. That's why I always talk about knowledge itself. If you don't know who you are, how you gonna get into a relationship and deal with somebody? So when it comes down to it, you basically out here, you gonna wild and wild out until something really sets you down. Like most guys who go to prison, they don't stop wilding until they get that major time. Because every single time I'm be out in 2 months, I'm be out in 6 months, I'm good. I'm back out here on the street, I'm balling. When they hit that time, doing like, 3 to 5 or 5 to 10, that's when they start reflecting, want to change life. And that's what a lot of people start doing. When they get older and start reflecting on life, man, I've been doing this stupid jump for a long time, making the worst decisions ever. You know, and that's the same in these relationships. You got the men on one hand, you're sitting here like, man, I've been banging all these chicks all this time. I had a whole bunch of good chicks. I let them go because I'm up here cheating. Then you be like, I got the chicks be like, man, I had a whole bunch of good dudes that was there for me, taking care of me, put me through school. And soon the guy got me through school, I dipped on them, because that was the game. The game is to get your, like, what's the old say? You get yours before I get mine. That's the game, and a lot of people get caught up in the game and not looking at the long term the game. The long term plan is longevity. Who can last the longest? You get into a relationship, you get in there with the expectation to grow old with each other. That was one of the key things what my cousin told me. He was like, man, you want somebody that you can grow old with. You don't want nobody that, basically just, been ran through, but at the same time, you know, just ain't acting right. And a lot of dudes they go after those fine chicks, like I said earlier. You go after a real fine chick that, like most guys, they always say they want a 10. And I laugh because I say, bruh, and so-called 10, you can't handle a 10. Because for one, she's high maintenance. You got to get her hair and nails done. You got to take care of a 10 or a 9. A lot of guys, man, I ain't doing all that. Well, you don't want no 10. That shows me your level of thought patterns in like reality. Because most men know if the finer the chick, the more maintenance and expensive she's gonna be. And for you to say, man, all I date is dimes and tens, but you won't get a woman hair done, that's on the level of getting a 6 and above, getting their hair done.
That's
But you
that's required. Shit.
exactly, yeah, it come with the game, nails, hair, and if you
You
can't
want her
do
to
that,
look good anyway. You don't want her
bruh,
out here looking at the other pretty girls and they got all they motherfucking hair and they got all they shit done and they over here
yeah,
with you. They ain't getting the bitch ass thing. No, they gon' bro. They want to be taken care of. But hold on. With that being said, it's women out here that ain't the prettiest that still got the prettiest attitude. You feel what I'm saying? They ain't the
mm-hmm,
prettiest broads. So it's like a nigga like me, nah, nah, nah. I'm gonna always go for the 10. But the thing with me is I'm grounded in reality. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And if Shorty decides she wanna stay, she gonna stay. I all I'm trying to do is just to get her here for a little bit. I'm gonna get her here. I want to have sex. When I first seen her, like my initial thought wasn't I'm gonna marry Shorty. My initial thought was, yo, I want to take her out. I want to date her. I want to have sex with her. Get to the bottom line. You feel the bottom line? I want to have sex with Shorty. What comes afterwards? Cool. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't really. I don't really be just going for. I'm not just finna hump on no 3, no 4, because them females be having stuck up attitudes. Some of them have stuck up attitudes too, and not only that, some of them be ignorant. Let's not act like females don't act ignorant. Like they might not be the smartest people in the world. And if you can't keep a conversation, and if you can't understand what I'm saying, and if you just like you think, oh, so I don't understand what this person's saying. So if I just talk loud or if I just throw a bunch of random stuff out there, then that's gonna throw him off of the point. So it's like we'll never be able to get nowhere. You can't build nothing with no ignorant female. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. I'd rather just deal with I'd rather just deal with the finer females personally. You feel what I'm saying?
But see, my thing is this: the finer female is the one you choose that's on your level. See, I go back to saying that society standard, saying that the girl with the big butt, big titties, IG model type of chick, that's who you need to be with. But who you need to be with is your 10. You know, she might not be a 10 in everybody's eye, but that woman that's down for you, that do everything for you, you know, that's your
Yeah.
10. Because I don't consider like my biggest thing is like I was looking for women. I dealt with women that that was look good. I didn't deal with no ugly women to the point where I always was told this when I was young. You always want to make sure you have a woman that looks decent to where you ain't got to chew your arm off to get out of bed, so you ain't trying to deal with her. Or you fool around and have a baby by her, you ain't embarrassed to say that's my baby mama.
Exactly. That's
You
why I ain't
know,
never dealt with no ugly women like that.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Cause hey, that oops baby is a real thing, bro.
I done
Like,
had 5 kids by
yeah,
one woman. Luckily, I can't stand her ass, but luckily she don't look bad. You know what I'm saying? Don't look half bad. So,
yeah,
um, moving forward, like I said, I don't know. See, my type of bad now, my 10 now is like you said, is different attributes. She gotta be responsible. She gotta have a sense of humor. She gotta be grounded in reality. She gotta be down to earth. She gotta be intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I want her to aspire to be something greater. I want her to be somebody that's like, yo, my daughters can look up to. You feel what I'm saying? So it's
hmm
like that's my 10 right now. But at the same time, she gotta look good though. She gotta look
yeah,
good. She gotta make me want to stay around.
yeah.
So
And see, but that's the thing. Visual is the first thing you deal with a woman. You
exactly.
know, you see her before you know the intellect and the beauty inside. You see the looks first, and
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying on the premise of. I'm not saying dudes go out there and pick a ugly chick. I'm not saying dudes go out there and pick the finest chick. You pick the chick in your eye is in your beauty standard. Because my
Right.
thing, like I say, a lot of guys get so caught up on trying to figure out how they people think that chick is looking good. Like they not dating her, you is. You know, if I'm dealing with a chick, I'm dealing with her on the premise because I think she look good and I want to be with her. Everybody else might be like, man, she alright, she ugly. Then you start self-evaluating yourself like, damn, is she really ugly? Man, this chick, man, she nice
Right, right.
looking. Yeah. And that's what I say. Society standards to have you fooled in the game, man. You'll dump a chick on principle because dude said I had a homeboy. Man, it was so funny.
Who is
So
that?
dude
Kane?
came to God.
Kane? Man, listen, that was the smartest shit that man just said. Period. Choose who choose you. Period. Fuck is you-
Yeah,
Bottom line, I heard an old pimp nigga tell me that. Swear for God, the nigga said, choose who choose you.
yeah, yeah. And a
Choose
lot
who
of lot
choose
of
you.
people don't understand that term, man. You rock with who rock with you, then that's longevity right there. Man, I'm trying to go after these, chicks that don't want me, and then all she wanna do is take my money, so she gonna take you for a ride because she know you were interested and she
She
not.
gonna be like, hey, this what you asked for, shit.
Yeah,
You know.
She gonna give you the sex. She gonna slob you up good. She gonna, you know what I'm saying, let you bang her out. And then when your money get low, she gone. So it's like, dang, she left me, man. Well, you got what you wanted out of a relationship. You got you a fine
Right.
chick. Like, bro, what more could you ask for?
You
That's
had
why I
her
be
for a
telling
month
you.
or 2, 3 months, you know, that was your bitch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You looking
Certified in the
good.
game with you. Yeah.
And
Both of y'all looking good together. You taking her out to go on the roof, Chris, spending, $250 a plate, but that's what it is. You taking her on vacation. Y'all going to Miami. You spent 1,200 for the trip.
while you going to Miami, she looking at the other niggas that's in Miami,
Exactly.
trying to see how she can get back to Miami.
Bruh.
Anyway,
I,
this ain't the women bashing session. Shout out to
yeah.
all the beautiful black queens. I hope y'all can all put y'all pride aside. A lot of y'all don't want to relinquish the power that y'all have because y'all acquired everything that y'all acquired y'all self. So a lot of y'all don't want to just give up some of the power that y'all have, whether y'all move in with him, because I got my own spot, or whether you don't want a nigga just move in with y'all, with you because then he got say so because you allowed that man to be the king of your throne. And a lot of females don't want to, you understand me, relinquish that power. You feel what I'm saying? So
Hey,
y'all need to, if you want a man, you need to back off and stop having so much pride. You feel what I'm saying? You can't have so much pride. If you're gonna love the man, if you done fuck the man, love him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
hey.
don't know. You gotta just be cool, G. But I'm out of here,
Okay.
man. This is me 2:17 at night. I don't know what the fuck I'm finna do, but probably take my bitch ass to sleep. I'm gonna holler at y'all, man. Shout out to the channel, shout out to the chat, shout out to you, brother. I'm finna subscribe, bro. Everybody go check out that Word Sport Battleground versus Cave Game card. The Young Shtemi link is in the chat, live on pay-per-view. You will see your boy Luke Kane up there versus Clip Corleone. It's going down live on pay-per-view. Go get your fucking tickets. And if you ain't subscribed, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And also, if you would please go to Jewel's Gaming Lounge and like and subscribe to that channel also. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all again. Whenever y'all live, I'll pop back out. Real shit.
All right.
Love, bro.
Yep. No problem. Yeah, man. So everybody dropping down. I'm about to probably drop down too in a minute because it is 3:18 and I'm probably going to work around about 10 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, man, we had a good little chop up. And like I say, we stared away and did the gender war topic a little bit, but like I said, focusing more on the finance and getting yourself together, man. You know, pick a lane and stay in it. Focus on the money aspect because you're gonna need money long term. Finance is key. We don't have these discussions, and like I keep saying, it's no excuse right now. Millennials, we could say our parents didn't give us all the keys, or the ones that did get them, they wasn't doing nothing with them. So ain't no excuse now. Everything we need to know is we got phones, are we got computers in the palm of our hands now. You can Google search everything. You know, you can Google search on how to fix stuff, even though you still get somebody to fix it or not. You know what they doing if they doing it halfway right or halfway wrong. You know what I'm saying? You can research on anything, man. Kids, helping them out, giving them a better outcome as well, teaching them finance because you want your kids to be better than you. I don't know too many parents that want their kids to fail in life.
Hey,
Coach, what's
she,
up? Yep.
I just want to say one thing. If you're with somebody, make it a practice to try to live out of one paycheck. They tell us the American dream is a house, 2 cars, 2 kids, and a dog. I don't know. I ain't even 1,000 now. I'm 100 out trying to be 1,000 now. If you 2 cars, that's over $1,000 a month in payments alone. Now you add the house on top of that. Make your situation such that if one of y'all were to get sick, the other person could carry it. without it being, you can't get all the extras, but you could still carry everything without everything going to hell, without losing the cars, the kids, and the everything. So I don't know, just old school stuff. You got one nice car, one slider. And most of the time you let the wife drive the dependable car, because if she get, you rather for you to be stuck on the side of the road than her to be stuck on the side of the road. Not because it looked better, but just because she a woman and she more vulnerable. And to just not make yourself where you spend it every paycheck. They say most Americans, not even Black Americans, most Americans, one paycheck from homelessness. That means if one thing in your machinery go down, everything go down with it. So I think when we doing these power struggles and stuff, just doing some old school stuff, live out of one paycheck if you can, or as close as one paycheck as possible. Let everybody come to the table to make the decisions about finances, because the reality is, whether it's the husband or the wife, if you go and sign for something, the husband and the wife both responsible for it. So both of them should have say so in it. If you go and get $100,000 loan, that is marital debt. So regardless if you're a man or a woman, both people should have input into that decision, and not cause I'm not gonna be able to lead in every situation. I might be able to go here and lead in the grocery store, and you better follow me in the grocery store, because I know what to pick up and what not to pick up, because I'm the one who looked at the sales paper. And sometimes in certain situations the man gonna lead, and sometimes in certain situations the woman gonna lead. If your woman is a financial advisor, you better listen to her. If your man know about this, listen to him. Everybody lead where they have a strength at, and try to educate the other partner to develop knowledge in that area, and not so much get caught up in the power struggles, or I'm the man, I'm the woman, I say this, go. Everybody lead and try to pull the other one along with their own strengths and weaknesses. And don't be too proud to say, hey, my man is smarter in this area, or my woman is smarter in this area. And if you got a problem with that, how I run my house, then that's on you, because my house good. You just go over there and run yours. And that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. Everybody have their strong suits in the relationship. That's why I was saying majority of the women they deal in the finance. And the crazy part, that's like the whole thing with cooking. Like I know how to cook. My wife was shocked when she found out that I know how to cook. One day she was at work, and I came home prepared some jambalaya. And she first thing she did when she started eating the food, she jumped up and went to the trash can and opened the trash to see if I threw the plate up. Cause she was like, I see the pots and pans, and everything. I think I had washed out one of the pans and stuff because I had sauteed the meat and everything, but I
And
only had the
clean
pot
as you
with it.
go. You
Yeah,
better clean that kitchen
but
as you go.
nah, I clean at the end. My wife, she gets on me about that. But at the time, I didn't want her to know I did it. So I did clean everything but that one pot. But yeah, I'm bad on
Okay.
that. Yeah, I don't like my wife, she'll get mad. Thanksgiving, I tear up the whole kitchen. I damn near use every pot and pan.
I
But it
have
be
to make
good though.
myself. But the thing is that people get so stuck in these gender roles. Like, when I get off, my husband, he cooked breakfast. I sit in there and keep him company. It's no thing about, you know, oh, you the woman, you supposed to do this and that. Get in the kitchen. I mean, after you have kids, I know when you got kids, you got somebody get in the kitchen to make sure things get done. But as adult, sit in the wife and have a glass of wine or a drink, or you make the salad while I'm cooking the entree or something. All this stuff. You already spend 10 hours of your day outside of your home working away from your spouse. So you get home at 6 or 7 in the evening, 5 in the evening, and you gonna go in the garage while she in the kitchen cooking? No, when y'all gonna spend time together? Y'all just gonna take a bath and hop in the bed together? You ain't spent no time with them. Go in the kitchen and sit with them, help make dinner. As we get older, we find out we enjoy things, them things like cooking and this and that. There's a lot of men enjoy cooking. You get an
Yep.
island man, and then he love to cook. So get in that kitchen with your wife instead of saying, I'm the man, I got a dick in the relationship. You better get in there and cook my food. Cook together. You might find like you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I cook, clean, everything. So it's basic. Now my wife can really say, well, he don't cook, he don't clean. I do all that. And she do the same thing as well. Even when she'll try to slack off and be like, nah, I ain't cooking. And I'm like, nah, you cooking. Cause sometimes I might do like 2 jobs or something. And I'm like, nah, I'm definitely not cooking when I get home. So food ain't ready. My thing is sometimes I might eat out anyway, but my thing is as long as the kids fed and go to bed before I get home, or just about one eye open when I get home so I can see them, and then I go ahead and take my shower and relax, you know.
And this
And
thing called get in where you fit in.
yeah, and that's the thing. Relationships are built on working together. You know, everybody say, I mean, to a degree, it's a business. The company, the owner and the CEO, they working together. You CFO, all this stuff, the supervisor, manager, everybody has to work together to make the business run. You know,
Hi, you know what? That is so true. Like you ever had a coworker and that bitch don't do no work and you over there doing everything and you be like, we getting the same pay and she over there, I done did everything, I done filed the papers, I done it, and she still sitting over there drinking her Starbucks. You don't
yeah.
like that. So imagine that's your marriage. And you like,
Hmm.
I done did all this, and that motherfucker still over there drinking his Starbucks ain't helped me out. No, you was not gonna have no happy work no happy business marriage.
Nope.
So
Because everything is, to be honest, it's based on finance. And, we know the whole thing and trope to where, money rules the world. And the men and the women both, they needed to survive. And building wealth, it comes with marriage because you have more money you can put aside. Just like you was talking about earlier, that's what I told my wife when we got the house we got. I told her, I said, we can go get a $200,000-$300,000 house. But I said, if something happens, if you lose your job, I lose mine, what's gonna happen? Because we always been like that. We stayed out in one area. My wife, she had some medical issues. She took a year off of work, and everybody in her family thought we were struggling. I'm like, struggling how? And I was like, I go to work, I pay the bills, and she stay at home and relax and get herself together. And they was like, well, how do you manage? I'm like, what do you mean? We got money. Don't you need money to pay bills? And I was like, just because her income stopped, that don't mean the house is over. But I supposed to be come stay with y'all? And they were looking at me like, why he talking like he got a whole bunch of money or something? I was like, no, I just know how to budget the money. I mean, that's the whole thing. We said and had this premise of living off one income to where, sometimes we overspend now, but the point of it is, if something was to go down, we'd be able to take care of the household without no interruptions, nothing getting cut off, nothing getting repossessed. A lot of people one paycheck from, being
homelessness.
homeless. Yep. Sometimes you have to scrap, put money together to, even just to go buy food. You know, Back in the day, I remember, the parents, they would make the kids eat and they would suffer. They wouldn't eat. My one of my play aunts, she used to do that. And I used to just come over there and she be acting like she too prideful to take money sometime. I have to throw it in a book or, drop it in a purse or something like that or put it up under the sofa because I know she cleaned up. She moved the sofa and she'll cuss me out. Did you just drop $100 in my? I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't did, but you know, it come to a point. I know she's struggling and she need help. And if I see something, to a point, we family. Ain't no point of me not helping you out or working with you. Especially with her, she was just her and her son before she had her daughter. And, I used to always go over there, pick him up, make him come with me, just to see some male figure around him. His dad was in Miami. He up here in Georgia. So I stayed on top of making him, look and see the right things. But of course, like I always talk about society standard, he started wanting to get raised by the streets and now he's paying for it. But ultimately he
Yeah,
learned his lesson. It's bad that you learn it at an older age instead of a younger age to make better decisions.
it's like in this society, you a sucker if you do a good deed. Now, we may not be able to save the world, but my mama was always a mama that if somebody came to our house to eat, she fed them. I ain't saying she had a soup kitchen, but if we had a friend at the time and they looked like their friend, maybe mama didn't have enough food or whatever to feed them, or their mama wasn't in the home all the time, or their mama was a crackhead. You could stay there. You know, we had some friends that spent the night, 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights for a little bit of time. You thought they was a family member, and then they season gone. Or the little white girl across the street who was considered poor white trash who came and ate at your refrigerator all the time, you know, ate at your house. And we don't I don't think people see you doing nice things like that no more. Or if you do something like that, you're a sucker. If you go and you see a child and you decide to give that child $30 or whatever, you do nice for them. Not because you're trying to fuck the mama or fuck the dad. It's just something you want to do. And I think about, listen, you go and we spend $5 on a cup of coffee every day. Some people, not me. But and you can't turn around and just say, hey, I ain't gonna have that cup of coffee every day. I'm gonna do a nice deed for a person without feeling like a sucker. And I think, you know, sometimes in society people feel like if I do something nice, I'm gonna be a sucker or I'm gonna get taken advantage of. And they're so scared of being taken advantage of. And I say I never loan anything I can't afford to give. So if I give you this here, or even if you trick me out of it, at the end of the day, my intentions was good. So, and I think people, you know, more afraid of being a sucker till they override their goodness.
Yeah, that's true. You know, when it come down to it, it just a lot of people deal with stuff every day in and day out, and it's crazy for people to go through life and feel, you know. And my biggest thing is like even with giving people money, if I give you 50, 75 or whatever dollars and you try to, you know, play me for a fool or act like you ain't gonna pay me back, that just show me where you stand. That gave me a lesson to where that $50 set me aside, you know, to where I wouldn't have to spend thousands of dollars working with you in the future. That
Exactly.
shows your personality and what type of person you are from the jump. So it was better for me to learn now than to learn later, you know.
Exactly. And stuff. So and that's all I wanted to hop and say up here. You know, let us
All
work
right.
together. All right, you gonna I see you from the clouds.
Yep. I'm probably gonna shut it down when this guy come up here, the man network. Want to see how he
Okay.
been. I've been asking about him. All right. Hey, the man, you coming up here? Hope you're doing good, man. I heard everything going on with you. I had told Pastor to check on you. If you ain't, I'm about to drop it on down. But like I keep saying, man, you know, focus. Shout out to Village Arsonist, man. You know, that's brother that's in the career bill. You know, he got his career bill set up, and that's what I tell guys, man. And you know, to a degree, everybody ain't going to college and making getting those 6-figure jobs. You know, the majority of us, man, we're gonna be coming in. Man, and you know, to a degree, everybody ain't going to college. Yeah, YouTube up. How you doing, man? Man,
Steve, what's happening? What's going on with you, baby? How's
what's
everything?
going? I'm good. I'm good. How about you, man? I heard you was down for a minute.
Yeah, man. I was down but not out, man. I was down but not out, man. You know, just had my own little stint with Mr. COVID.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
yeah. He decided to drop by, so you
yeah.
know, yeah, yeah, man. I mean, it ain't that nice. I don't know if you had it or if anybody else actually have it, but it's not a fun it's not a fun experience, not at all. You know.
Yeah, my friend had it, but he had it during the beginning stages before it got this bad like this.
Yeah.
Cause he had it in I think it was 819. before everybody knew what it was. The crazy part, his friend came from Wuhan and gave it to him,
Oh,
and that was in 19. I think it was in October.
2019. Okay.
Yeah, he got it in October before it hit America because they had already knew it was spreading over there. His friend was doing military contracts over there, and
Okay.
when he came over, he was sick. He picked him up from the airport. Dude was saying he was just getting over a cold or something. He wasn't feeling good, and
Right.
so he passed it to him. And luckily, his cousin and nobody didn't get it. And even he hang around a whole bunch of guys we know, and so everybody just told him don't come around if you feeling bad. And he
Right.
got so sick, but his only lasted for about a week. His only lasted for a week, and he was pretty good after that. He said all he did was took Theraflu and stuff like that. And once everything started coming out, he figured he had it and stuff by then. But he was like, man, like it just like he was saying, it was something different. Even the doctors didn't even know what it was because they was telling him, they was like, it's not the cold, but it got the symptoms of a cold. And it's
Right.
like mutated cold.
It
And so,
is.
yeah.
Well, the way the doctor described it, because I was asking him, I said, listen, y'all giving me all of this medicine, and I feel sicker with this medicine, woozy and, nauseated and all of this stuff, right? And food didn't taste right. Everything was just terrible. So I asked him, I said, well, why don't you just give me a Z-Pack? Right? And
Yeah.
the doctor said, he said, well, listen, this is not like your normal cold where you're dealing with proteins and all this other crap. He said, I said, okay. He said, well, this one here is nuclear. So it's a difference, right? All right. So let me give you guys an idea, and this is for you and for your audience, right? My suggestion to everyone, make your appointments with your PCP every 4 to 6 months, okay? And do it regularly. Make sure that you get a scan of your lungs. Here's the reason why. I was watching Tucker Carlson while I was in the hospital, and there was a guy that was on Tucker, and he says, listen, there is a phenomenon that's actually happening. I'm not trying to fearmonger anyone, right? I'm just giving you information. And he said, there's a strange phenomenon that's happening in America and in Europe. He says people are dying from COVID related or something that could be COVID related, but you was never diagnosed with COVID. See, COVID, it's an immune system type of deal, right? Heart, lungs, so forth and so on. He said people are just dying. Okay, they're just dying flat out. And this is something that America is not talking about. Respiratory, people that's dying from respiratory problems. But they're not saying that it's COVID. So even though you can be asymptomatic, right? You can be asymptomatic, but you're still dying of respiratory illnesses. Now, why am I saying this? Because the one thing that the hospital did not want to show me, and I kept begging them, hey, can you show me a copy? Can you show me the scan of my lungs? Can you show me? Can you show me? Can you show me? And they wouldn't, flat out. Then I kept on this doctor. Hey, I would really like to see, the scan of my lungs, until he showed me. My lungs were cloudy white. No wonder why I couldn't breathe. They were cloudy white. And he said, yeah, all of this is like a sign of a pneumonia. Now, the last time I seen that was when my grandmother had pneumonia, right?
She's like 80 years old, and her lungs were just terrible. My lungs looked just like my grandmother's. So your lungs are supposed to be nice, pink, and healthy looking on your x-ray. That's what I'm getting at. So take a look at your x-ray. I mean, do what you got to do to get a scan of your lungs, because that will tell you, what the problem is. And he said, yeah. So, we got the COVID, we got it at bay. I said, so what about my lungs? He said, oh yeah, you're gonna feel like you have a pneumonia. Release me from the hospital with oxygen. You dig? So for anyone who's listening, get your checkup, whether you feel sick or not. You still with me, brother? She.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So I mean, and man, I didn't know if I was gonna wake up the next day, bro. I really didn't, because I have a few partners that passed away from COVID, and I was like, oh man, could this be my time? Okay, so magnetic. All right, so they may have been vitamin D deficient and they may have been obese, right? But let's say if you feel healthy, right? See, they have you thinking, well, if you feel healthy, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong, right? When I was in high school, there was playing a game. I think it was against a white school or something like that. And the boy, seemingly healthy boy, 16 years old, had a heart attack on the basketball court. And then there's people that run marathons and all this stuff, heart attacks while they're running. Get yourselves checked out, especially because you may have COVID-related symptoms and may not even know about it because you don't feel it. All right. My kids had COVID. And the only thing they wanted to do was sleep. Other than that, they felt fine. Tested positive for COVID, but all they wanted to do was sleep. My wife the same way. Right? So get yourselves checked out. I can't tell you whether or not to get the shot, or what shots to get, because for me, I was actually going, staying away from people, right? Social distancing for me. And it just so happened I got bombarded by a large group of people on the train, and that's how I wound up catching it. Right? So my message to everyone, especially if you don't have the shot, if you plan on staying away from other people, still doing social distancing, make sure that you stay away from large crowds. Me, I took a chance, I gambled, and I lost. Right? Because what I should have did was got up and walked right off the train, and I didn't. right? So I gambled and I lost, and now my system is just now building up the antibodies. Because once you and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but once you already have COVID, I don't believe that you have to take the shot. So y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know anything about it, but that's just what I've
They say
what
you
I heard.
still do. They say you
Okay.
still do because I mean it's a preferred thing that they want you to get the shot regardless. Because even though you build up the antibodies, most of the people who get that second one, because you know it's the Delta variant was worse than the first one. So even people who got the shot, it's not going to prevent you from catching COVID. Because there's people who had the shot who got it as well too. So, but
Yeah.
depends.
Yeah, and I can tell you this. For me, I don't feel the same. You know what I mean? So it done something to my skin. You know what I mean? I don't know if that was the medicine. I don't know if this is a reaction from the medicine. My skin seems dry in certain places. You know, and you know all of my motor skills functioning. You know, is not quite. You know, I mean, first I mean I could type 80 words a minute, but now my typing has significantly slowed down. I noticed that I'm not spelling words, you know what I mean? So it does some things, and it's not just respiratory. And when Pastor $40, when he was telling me about it, you know, I almost didn't want to believe him because I didn't want those things to happen to me. Oh, plus you have strange dreams. You have strange dreams. And, you know, and when he was telling me about it, I didn't believe him until I experienced it, you know. So, man, God bless anybody who goes through that, because I wouldn't want to wish that on anyone. Nope, not at all. And so, you know, the guys that experience, I mean, and I can only my heart goes out to those guys that came in contact with that Agent Orange, you know, the veterans, right? My heart goes out to those people. So, Sheed, what you been up to, man? What's been going on?
Not much, man. I'm about to get ready to shut it down too, cause man, I was tired, man. I was only supposed to do like an hour stream. I had a conversation.
Well, yeah. So you know, hopefully, I was just dropping by, man, just to say what's up. You know, I seen you on. We was just on Sir Abadayu's channel. Had a good time over there, and just decided to say what's going on with you, man.
All right, and good to hear from you, man. I'll be checking on you in these spaces.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Sheed.
All right.
Keep up the good work, man.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And to
Over and out.
everybody in the chat, I'll holler at y'all. I always say we here and we gone.